JRM Video Productions, winners of a regional Emmy Award for live sporting event.
JRM Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of President's Athletic Conference Football, produced by JRM Video Productions.
A beautiful day at Reeves Field in Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania, the site of our PAC Game of the Week between the Westminster Titans and the Geneva College Golden Tornadoes on KDKA+. We welcome you inside the broadcast booth. Austin Bechtold, Alex Terrett, Robert Mangino will join us momentarily. Alex, Geneva has a chance to do something that it has not done in a while. Finish at 500 or better. It will be the 5th win of the season for Geneva with one left. That hasn't happened since 2013.
And both teams have something to prove today. And Geneva is trying to prove that they can beat a top team in this conference, and Westminster trying to prove that they are one of those top teams in the conference.
And big news for Westminster, as Ty McGowan will not go today, dealing with an injury. So Billy Levac will be the starting quarterback, and Westminster is going to want to go on the ground game and depend on their dependable back, Ryan Gomes.
And that's the player we're going to watch today, and that's going to be number 1, Ryan Gomes, the running back for Westminster. And with the shuffling of these quarterbacks, like you said, that's when you really lean on this run game. As a grad student, he helps this really young offensive unit that has a lot of freshman starters, but look for him to get a lot of carries, a lot of screens, a lot of checkdowns. He's going to be really involved in the offense to really move the chains on third downs. But most importantly, he's got to find the end zone. He's got to rip off a lot of big runs, and he's got to be very successful against this injured Geneva defense.
We know how Geneva loves to run the triple option and the rushing attack that goes through David Reed and also Bryce Finley. But when Geneva does decide to pass the football, who should we keep an eye on?
And also is number 9, Keaton Baker. Now, I know what you're thinking, right? A receiver on a triple option team. Like, are you kidding me? But he's that home run player. 15 receptions, 388 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's averaging 25.9 yards a catch. And with an offense that's starting to throw the ball a little bit more downfield, you might see him break off a chunk play or two. But he might not strike very often, but when he does, he can really change the entirety of this game for this Geneva team that really needs that kickstart on the offensive end.
Westminster at 6-2, looking to bounce back from a loss last week against Carnegie Mellon. Geneva has won 2 games in a row. What are the keys on both sides?
And for Westminster, it's all about special teams. You might not get a lot of series as an offense going against the triple option, so that means you have to find other ways to score. Last week, they had an 89-yard kickoff return against CMU, who we talked about before is one of the best special teams units in the entire country. And also, they have to have attention to defense. So there's a lot of details that go into going against a triple option team, but can the secondary consistently do their job and not let up the big play in the pass game? But for Geneva, they have to win the turnover battle. Coach Benzel really commended Geneva and their ability to keep the ball off the ground, especially as a triple option team. But can Geneva get those turnovers defensively and put the ball back into their own hands? And then lastly, can they finish drives? They're going to move the ball down the field, but they have to finish drives when they get inside the red zone.
Gino DeMarco in his 32nd season leading the Golden Tornadoes. Scott Benzel in his 11th year leading the Titans. He has never lost to Geneva. Does history rewrite itself today? We'll find out up next.
As someone who disrupts plans for a living, I can't say enough about the importance of life insurance. Sometimes you can see the end zone right ahead of you, you can have a clear shot, then bam, it's Cam. A policy from GBU Life can let you focus more on getting out from under what life throws at you and worry less about protecting the life you are working hard to build. You can get a policy with GBU Life that is affordable to you now and build on it for the future with their guaranteed purchase option rider. Get started protecting the life you are building today at gbu.org.
From heating and cooling to a large array of construction equipment, Herc Rentals has the gear you need to get the job done. Herc Rentals is already a staple in several communities across the United States and Canada and have been serving our customers' needs since 1965. With a catalog of equipment that spans the spectrum of almost every kind of solution you can think of. To learn more about Herc Rentals, visit hercrentals.com or call us at 1-888-777-2700.
play into the end zone. Up to the races to the 20, 15, 10, 5 into the end zone again. Captains meeting at midfield for the coin toss. Moments away from kickoff as we send it down to the third member of our crew, Robert Mangino, on the sideline.
Austin, you talked about Ty McGowan not playing today. Talked to Coach Benzel before the game. He says he's an emergency break glass situation only. If they really need him, they'll bring him in, but they're hoping to save him for next week against Grove City. Another key player that will not play today is Landon Smith. He's the wingback in this triple option. He's averaging over 6 yards per carry. They're going to lean on a freshman and a sophomore to be able to pick up the slack. And you talked about earlier about how important this game is for them to get to 500. That's Geneva. They're going to have to beat a team in Westminster that they've not been able to top since 2012.
It's going to be a difficult challenge. Thanks, Mangino. And just looking at some of the guys that could replace Landon Smith, Bryce Finley, Philip Ranson, Ben Pitta are really the guys, Alex, that we're highlighting. Finley, though, just a freshman from McKeesport. A lot of young players are going to factor into this game, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Westminster defensively has 5 starters without our freshmen, 4 freshmen starting defensively for Geneva as well. A ton of youth in a conference that is typically dominated by older players.
And with the COVID year, a lot of these older players are staying for longer, and even into their 5th year, like we see with some of the offensive stars for Westminster. So being young at this time in the conference is not an easy task, but you can see that they're really starting to elevate at this point in the season.
So Geneva will get the ball first, and we'll see the triple option offense. Gino DeMarco, Geneva class of 1984, a chance to talk to him before the game. Things are starting to roll with Tim Taylor, the offensive coordinator. 2 wins in a row for Geneva. Starting to feel better about the offense than after the 2-game losing streak to start the year, where things really started to find its footing against Teal. Wins against Allegheny and Bethany in the last 2 games and posting over 30 points per game. 2 men back deep for Geneva as we're underway in Beaver Falls with a return set from inside the 10. And taken up past the 15 and decked at about the 20-yard line. We'll send Caleb Romano onto the field. The sophomore 6'3" quarterback, 195 pounds, leading the triple option. Romano, this his 6th game of the season, dealt with some injuries at the start of the year. And we look at Pitta, Smith, but especially David Reed, who leads the team in rushing attempts, leads the team in yards, 410. He had 3 touchdowns against Bethany last week. He's the main guy, the junior, to keep an eye on in this offense.
And as a fullback in the triple option, they're probably one of the most hit positions on the entire offense, and definitely takes a reliable player to take that spot.
It's a strictly under center offense with the triple. And Romano looking to throw right away, looking for Keaton Baker, and it's just overthrown. Baker on a dive tried to make the catch inside Westminster territory, and Alex, you highlighted it right before the kickoff. Keaton Baker, one of the main players to watch, and Geneva thought the same thing to get him going early.
And Coach DeMarco is setting a tone today and trying to be aggressive. First play from scrimmage, going deep, and if that play connects, that's that huge chunk play that he's so accustomed to as a receiver in this offense.
Baker, 388 yards receiving on the season, 3 touchdowns. 2nd down and 10. Romano will throw it again, rolling to the far side. Looks for Baker. He's got it in a 1st down. Keaton Baker from Salem, Ohio makes the catch and a gain of 13.
Man, am I impressed by Romano to start this game, because, I mean, Coach DeMarco is really putting his faith in him to really extend plays already. And you see that they're still getting out, they're rolling out, getting Romano to use his legs a little bit. But, I mean, Keaton Baker is going to be that guy today. He's going to get the ball a lot.
1st down at the 34. So typically we're so used to Geneva running the football. They come out with 2 pass plays. See if it changes this time. Handoff goes to Reed. Reed, pile moves forward only to the 35, and it's a gain of 1 against this really good Westminster defense. 68 tackles for loss on this season. One of the best in the PAC. 16 sacks, 6 interceptions. And it starts with Dylan Sleva, the junior linebacker from Moon Township High School. 70 total tackles on the season. The next closest is Cordy Williams at corner with 35. Sleva has doubled up the next closest man in terms of tackles, as there is an injured player down at the 35-yard line for Geneva. How have these teams gotten here? Westminster 6-2 on the season. There's a 3-game winning streak that has happened twice, but losses to Washington and Jefferson. That one coming down to the wire. Game-winning drive from JQ. And Carnegie Mellon, the loss last week, as Ty McGowan was banged up. Billy Levac, he likes to sling it around. We'll get a chance to see him coming up just momentarily when Westminster gets the ball. But that game against CMU, really the one outlier in terms of the score and the way that Westminster played, probably the worst that the Titans have played this season. And overall for Geneva, it's been up and down. Started with the 2 toughest games of the year against Grove City and Carnegie Mellon. Arguably, Washington and Jefferson posted 73 points against the Golden Tornadoes defense as well. But Allegheny and Bethany were the 2 games that Geneva was really able to rebound and scoring 30 points for the first time all season in back-to-back games.
And this has been a really big season for Westminster, who's Coach Benzel said they're in a rebuild. And in the second year of the rebuild, they're really accelerating the process that he thought that they were going to have to go through as a team. And now only having 2 losses on the season to a really close W&J game, and then also to Carnegie Mellon, who is one of the best teams in the country as well. And then depending on how they do against Grove City, this could be a really successful season for them. Nicholas
Winowich, the left guard, is the injured player that could not put any weight on his injury and hobbled off the field. So Damian Miller will come in at left guard for him on 2nd down and 9 at the 35. 2 receivers in the pattern, one on the far side, one on the near side. Romano pitches it right into the near side, past the 35-30, and being spun down is Ben Pitta, just shy of the 40.
And they're going through a lot of these different styles of the triple option. There's not a whole lot of wiggle room with how you show your triple option offense, but they're going to a lot of the plays that we didn't think they were going to have to pull out this early in the game, but they're really switching up their approach. They're trying to get Pitta some extra carries, trying to get him involved. And right now we haven't seen Caleb Romano take off yet, but Coach Marker really stressed how he needs to lower his pad level whenever he runs. So whenever we see him take off, we'll see how he's running today.
3rd and 4 at the 40. Needing the 44-yard line for Romano. Ball at the near side hash. Send a man in motion, and they'll pitch it that way to Finley. Finley trying to get past his blockers, but can't do so. He's decked right at the 41-yard line. Big hit delivered by Solomon Davis, the junior from Ashburn, Virginia. And Geneva will be forced to punt.
And Westminster's doing a great job of flowing to the football. You see Sleva and just this gang of linebackers that do such a great job of following the football and meeting at the point of attack and not giving these wingbacks and these fullbacks any sort of time to get it loose.
Evan Baker, the freshman punter, is on, also serves as the kicker. Bryce Butler standing inside his own 25 as Baker gets the kick away. It's a high kick, but not very deep. Butler wants everybody to get away from it, and it takes a favorable Geneva bounce and continues to roll to the 19. That's where Westminster will set up shop with 12:14 to go in the first quarter of play when you return to Beaver Falls.
At 2 Men and a Junk Truck, we can remove your things, so you have room to dream.
Now is the time. Today is the day for us to strike out and move forward in confidence and faith.
It's time to rediscover the original Voodoo Brewing Company pub in beautiful downtown Meadville. Enjoy world-renowned craft beer, delicious and unique cocktails made with our new lineup of VBC spirits and one-of-a-kind food items. Follow our Facebook and Instagram pages to stay updated on our series of live music. And if you're looking to take your celebration to the next level or host a private event, look no further than our production facility only at Voodoo Brewing Company.
It's Potomac Furniture's 75th anniversary sale. Celebrate our birthday with 40, 50, and 60% savings. Stop in today, Route 19 in McMurray, or visit PotomacFurniture.com. Furniture of distinction at a price you can afford.
Billy Levac takes the field, the junior 6-foot quarterback from Macedonia, Ohio, wearing number 3, beginning at the 20-yard line for Westminster, sending a man in motion and receiving it on a pitch pass. Right to the near side is Ethan Burford, and Burford is tackled down at the 23-yard line after a gain of only 3 yards. Nick Sorello on the stop as we take a look at the Westminster offense with Ty McGowan available but not going to play. As Mangino said, a break glass in case of emergency type of situation. It will be Billy Levac, but Ryan Gomes is the man to watch. The graduate running back, 5'8", 190 pounds, gets a lot of action in this offense. Demir White as well, and Jalen Washington at wide receiver as Westminster goes under center on 2nd down and 7 and hands it off. It is Gomes, but tackled up at the 27-yard line, a couple of yards shy of a first down, as Reed Gordon, the star linebacker for Geneva, was in there on the tackle. It's Payne Brereton up front, as well as Colton Hill, who've done a really nice job of getting to the quarterback. Both players with 2 sacks apiece. Sorello, Shaheen, and Gordon at the linebacker positions done a really nice job. Gino DeMarco thinks that Reed Gordon is one of the most underrated linebackers in the entire PAC. There is a corner that's hurt today for Geneva. It's Caden Holtzman, one of their star players, a sophomore, that's out. With Hargrove looking to be expected to play more. Well, when you're stopping the run as well as this, corners aren't going to be as tested as much. 3rd down, stop shy as Gomes not even able to get close to the 30-yard line, and Westminster goes 3 and out.
And Coach Scott Benzel is really trying to get Levac just slowly into this game, but going to Gomes a couple times and then having that jet sweep, that pop pass, just trying to get the ball on the ground towards Gomes' direction, and right now Geneva's just ready for that.
Cody Patterson is back deep for Geneva, standing at his own 40-yard line to return it. Craig Sonson, the sophomore punter, on a good snap, gets it away cleanly. Takes a bounce at the 45-yard line and begins to roll inside the 45, and that's where it's down at the 43. So good field position for Geneva to start. Second drive with 10-11 remaining in the first quarter. We send it down to Mangino.
Thank you very much to Nicholas Winovich, that was hurt on the last drive for Geneva. It was taken off the field. He is still on the trainer's table. They are looking at his right knee, the interior portion of his right knee, trying to see if they can get that stabilized for him to be able to get back in this game.
Thank you, Mangino. It's Damian Miller again, who's in there at left guard for Winovich. Romano looks to throw again, rolling far side. Romano under pressure, and Romano goes down. A convoy of players collapsed in and gave Romano no chance on the attempt. We'll bring up 2nd down and long.
And with the injury to Winovich, they're really trying to see if they can throw the ball some more, trying to give the offensive line less time to hold their blocks. But Caleb Romano trying to escape to his right side, doesn't really have a lot of time to see anybody downfield. And with Geneva, they like to extend these passes and try and create long distances for these passes, and not able to be successful so far.
Nate Bortnick from his strong safety spot was up there to help make the play. Romano will pitch it to the near side. Here's Finley. Finley still going, now is brought down. Solomon Davis within their tackle. It's 3rd and long at the 39.
And defensively for Westminster, this is probably one of the best starts that you can possibly have going against the triple option. They fly the ball. They're not letting the fullback, David Reed, get involved so far, and they're wrapping up very, very, very nicely on the wingback so far.
They send Finley in motion, and they'll pitch it to him on the far side. Finley with some open space. Finley 45. He needs the 47-yard line of Westminster and will not get there. He only gets to the 48-yard line of Geneva. Sets up 4th down at about 5, and Finley a little bit slow to get up on the far side.
Injury time, offensive player.
He's now lying on his back at midfield, and 2 injuries now for Geneva in the first few minutes of the game. As we'll step aside as the trainers attend to Finley.
This awesome gift is from my grandma. I use free pay policy from GB Life. What does it do? It accumulates cash value, helps protect my future insurability, and it may even earn dividends.
What's so great about that?
My policy will grow with me. Plus, I get access to the GBU Life Youth Leaders Program, scholarships, and more.
Oh.
You might be interested in a GBU Life annuity.
You're probably thinking about retiring soon, right, Mrs. Jones?
In Pittsburgh, football season is all year round. The Pittsburgh Passion, 3-time national champions. A team of women united by drive, dedication, and heart. It's more than football, it's family. A sisterhood of athletes working together to achieve greatness. Do you have what it takes? The passion, the commitment. This is your chance to be a part of the black and gold. Step out onto the field and join a legacy. The Pittsburgh Passion is waiting for you. Join us for tryouts. For more information, scan the QR code or visit pittsburghpassion.com.
If you need insurance, you need an agency that's sharp. The Sharp Insurance Agency is an independent agency and distinguish themselves by providing face-to-face customer service and reviewing coverage to provide the best possible value for their clients.
Hi, I'm Mike Sharp. Lean on my years of experience in the Pittsburgh area to find you the best insurance coverage, because when insurance companies compete, you win.
The Sharp Insurance Agency. Contact us today to have your personal or business insurance professionally reviewed.
The Golden Tornado, all smiles here at Reeves Field. I guess he can't be frowning, right, Alex? I mean, he's got to always be happy. And it was good to see Bryce Finley be able to hop off the field with no assistance after the third down play. So sends the punting unit on again as Geneva goes 3 and out. And it's pretty much been the case with both offenses really stalling in the early portion of the game. Bryce Butler is back. Westminster send the second player back as well, sitting at the 20-yard line. As Evan Baker will kick it away right to left. Baker with time, gets it away. It's a high kick. Better punt this time. Fair catch called for, and is missed on the opportunity. Muff, but recovered at the 15-yard line. A dangerous play there. That was Bright Cannon, who is one of the best players on this team. Scott Benzel called him maybe the most talented player on the team. The freshman 5'8" wide receiver couldn't handle it, but then was luckily able to fall back.
And I think he's looking directly into the sun there. Just not able to
recover by the be first down.
Just not able to see the ball clearly into his hands. And you can see the Westminster sideline just jaws drop, because that could have been a devastating play.
Levac hands off. Gomes with some room, and he makes his way up to the 20-yard line and a gain of 5. Seems like Alex is just kind of taking a while for both offenses to find their rhythm. Second chance opportunity now for Westminster.
And it's due to a lot of the struggles that Geneva's had on offense, and then Westminster not having a fully healthy offense as well. So you kind of get the worst of both right here, and a lot of punts so far.
Shotgun for Levac on second down. They'll give it to Gomes again, trying to follow his blocking. He gets tackled down, though, at the 21-yard line. Noah Hutcherson is the one that met him for just a 1-yard gain.
And also, if I'm Geneva, I'm loading the box. I'm trying to stop Gomes, not let him get anywhere, and just see if Levac can beat you and see what he can do throwing the ball around. And right now, you haven't seen any drop back passes for Levac so far. So we'll see if they really open up the playbook and see if they can keep this Geneva defense honest.
Levac is 10 of 13 for 136 yards and 2 touchdowns on the season. They send Tate Beachy in motion, and he rolls towards the far side. Levac, the left-handed quarterback, rolls out towards the near side of the field. Now will take off 20-25. Levac takes a shot but picks up the first down at the 26-yard line. Lower your shoulder and get enough on a gain of 6.
And man, that play took a long time. Left-hander rolling away from his strong side, and then you just see him tuck the ball and run, and I see a lot of hits by the Geneva defense there, but still able to get the first down and move the chains.
Levac fakes the handoff, looking to go deep. Has a man open. Washington makes the reception, and he's brought down inside the 40. Jalen Washington, the big play senior wide receiver from Orlando, Florida, leads the team in receiving yards and continues to add to his tally.
And Jalen Washington just gets through both defenders and just runs faster than everybody. And he's been that big play guy for this Westminster offense, and you just see on that play.
They go quickly to the line. Handoff to Gavin Greaves, and Greaves is able to make his way up for about 3 yards. Inside the 35 now. Scott Benzel told us multiple different times this week that Billy Levac loves to let it rip. He is aggressive, maybe sometimes a little bit too aggressive, but he delivered a perfect pass to Washington.
I mean, you can't ask for anything better from a backup quarterback coming in and throwing that ball to Jalen Washington. And you're going to see him sling the ball around some more with more confidence.
2 receivers far side to the near side. Levac with plenty of time. Pocket starts to collapse. Levac will tuck and run again, and Levac spins his way down to the 26. Billy Levac is about a yard shy, maybe 2 yards away from a first down.
And I think we're going to see Levac take a lot of these runs and just look downfield, tell all the receivers to keep going, and then just tuck in and run. And he really doesn't have a lot to lose here. Backup quarterback, you don't know if you're going to get another start for the rest of the season, and just see what you can do. And I think he's going to put on everything that he has today to see if he can really open some eyes for the coaching staff.
Another tackle for Nick Sorello, now with 65 on the season. Under center now for Levac on 3rd down and 1. They give it to Gomes. Gomes gets it and more. Gomes still going inside the 20. Ryan Gomes, he's a short runner at only 5'8", but powerful, despite being just 190 pounds.
And I'll tell you, playing against him a lot over the last couple of seasons, he's been there for his 5th year now, and he just shows up. And he comes, and it takes a while for him to get going, but I'm telling you, when he gets out in open space, he's just a different type of player, and he has a different type of runner. He has that extra gear that a lot of players in this conference don't really have. And I think that right now it doesn't do him a lot of justice, but I think he's going to have a big day today.
They line up Washington and Smith Austin on the near side of the field. Tight end on the far side. Handoff once again goes to Gomes. Running inside the tackles and was able to pick up just a short gain of 2.
And he's just being patient and just seeing how aggressive Geneva is being at the point of attack, and just seeing if he can buy some more time and see if these holes can open up a little bit more for him. And those 2-3 yard pickups can start to really open up Levac to see if he can take some more runs and pick up those 3rd downs, which they've been doing a great job of sustaining this drive and mix of big play and lots of short, dependable plays.
Under 4 minutes left in the quarter. 2nd down and 8. Levac takes the snap, rolls towards the far side. Only man on that formation on that side was Washington, as well as Smith Austin. 2 men there. They were trying to get Washington open, but Smith Austin just sat Alex at the sticks and picked it up, plus a couple more.
And Smith Austin is not the first read there, and you're going to see the original wideout breaking up towards the field. Geneva secondary is not fooled, but then once everyone bails backwards, Smith Austin really gets open, and they'll take that first down. Even though they're not going towards the end, and they'll still take that first down, set up and do fresh set of downs inside the 10.
Just his 5th catch of the season. First down and goal at the 9 for Levac. 2 receivers far side to the near side as well. They line up Washington to the far side. Levac looking that way to the end zone, knocked away, incomplete. Blaze Hargrove broke it up, and a good job from Hargrove, the freshman from Tennessee, to come back to the football and make a play.
And Levac throws that fade ball on a rope. I guess he just saw a lot of hand fighting, just seeing if he can get a pass interference call, but instead, Hargrove makes a big-time play and then puts them behind the sticks a little bit.
2nd and goal. Similar formation. Ball's on the far side hash. Shaughnessy, the tight end, in motion towards the near side. Pitching it to Gomes on that near side of the field, and he's just a little bit shy of the 5, down at the 6. Tackled down by Dante Caputo, the graduate player from North Allegheny High School.
They try to get Gomes out in space and get these offensive linemen moving and try and see if they can pick up some blocks. But, these linebackers for Geneva are just one of their biggest points of strength. And they do a good job of flowing to the football and wrapping up Gomes and not letting him get anything else after the initial gain.
And you saw Reed Gordon also in there to help make the stop. 3rd down and goal at the 6. We'll send Tate Beachy in motion, far side, now back to the near side. Levac looking that way to the end zone. Touchdown! Tate Beachy makes the catch, keeps his foot in. All you need is 1, and Beachy scores the first points of the game.
And this is just an amazing play by Beachy. Originally, they send him in motion, coming back around, noticing that they're in man, and seeing if they can get him open. But, that's a toe tap, definition of a toe tap there by Beachy, who's just been that dependable guy for this team, but makes an explosive play, makes that play for Billy Levac to give him that extra confidence. And as a backup quarterback, that's probably one of the best drives you can put together.
And that one's good on Sundays. It's the extra point, up and good, close to being blocked. 2:26 still to go, first quarter of play. Westminster takes a 7-0 lead. There's another look at the Tate Beachy catch. It's his 4th touchdown of the season. So Westminster takes the lead, and a great drive from Billy Levac, the backup quarterback, helping to lead this 6-2 Titans team that lost last week to CMU. He's right at the top of the PAC standings with Washington and Jefferson and Grove City. Presidents are 8-1, bye week this week on a 5-game winning streak. Carnegie Mellon and Grove City have won 2 games in a row, and there you see Case Western and Westminster, both at 6-2. All games this season being played in the conference, so no conference games factoring into that. And also Geneva, just one rung right behind Westminster at 4-4, 2-game winning streak, knocking on the door of trying to finish this season with at least a 500 record. Geneva will finish the season right here at Reeves Field next week against Waynesburg. And a great opportunity for Geneva. Last winning season came in 2009. Last time Geneva won 5 games was 2013. Golden Tornadoes will get the football down by a score, taken from inside the 10-yard line. Patterson to the near side, has some space to the 20. Patterson 25 is spun down. Evan Lewis on the stop. We'll see if Bryce Finley comes back out for Geneva after he was shaken up earlier on in the game. Take another look at the Patterson return.
And also, you're going to talk about field position here, and great return for Geneva, but with all these injuries on the offensive side of the ball, it's just, Coach DeMarco was talking about how it's just so hard to get over those because it happens to everybody, but it just happens so often for this team who's already very young, very inexperienced, and just getting younger and younger with the additions of a lot of injuries.
Geneva lines up Darren Myers towards the near side. It's a pitch once again. Finley is in there and spinning his way to the 35. He is about a half-yard shy at the moment.
And we're really seeing the development of Caleb Romano as a decision maker. And he does a great job of holding the outside linebacker as long as he can, make him commit to Romano, and then pitches it out to Finley, who has a little bit extra running room than he normally does, and get him very close to the sticks to set up a really short 2nd down play.
2nd and inches for Romano. Reed remains the back, just a couple yards behind Romano. Romano will throw it to the far side. Pass is caught. Baker on the reception and a 1st down to the 40.
And that's just a little wrinkle for Geneva's offense. And usually you see Caleb Romano pitch that, but instead they send Baker farther out and just do a little flare pass, right? Something behind the line of scrimmage, something that Baker can tuck and run. And on 2nd and short, you'd think they'd go right to David Reed, but instead they go to Baker on the 3rd option of that play.
Ball on the far side hash at the 39. 3 receivers are in the pattern. Romano looks to throw, steps up, escapes, and ends up picking up a yard. Could have been a loss in the backfield. Westminster with a good job at the point of attack with Drew Sleva breaking through the line.
And Romano starts to step up in the pocket a little bit, trying to see if he can catch the Westminster defense kind of being a little too aggressive and flying towards the pitch man, but instead, Westminster's not fooled. They have enough guys flooding to the football, and then they make a great play on Romano.
2nd and 9, the final minute of the quarter. Romano looks to throw, rolling near side under pressure and delivers incomplete. Skipped it to Seth Tyson. Tried to grab it on a dive at the 45. It'll set up 3rd down and long.
And Romano's already getting banged up a little bit. He was rolling around to his outside. Just not able to deliver a great pass because of all the pressure that's in front of him from this Westminster defense, who is just super young, but man, they're fast and they fly to the football, and they're just a great group to build off of for the future.
And you mentioned young and fast. That was Aiden Fletcher, a freshman with a lot of speed, 6-foot linebacker from Deer Lakes High School. 3rd down and 9 for Romano. Has to throw it. Rolling to the near side. The pass is high and incomplete off the hands of Seth Tyson. So that's the 2nd incompletion in a row to Tyson on this side of the field. And another punt formation coming out for Geneva.
And Tyson's got to complete this catch. And I know it's a little high from Romano, but you got to think about, he's not your typical pocket quarterback. Instead, he's rolling around from away to his weak side, and he's not going to give you the best ball in the world, but you got to make those plays when you're that wide open.
So Evan Baker's been a busy man in this first half. 29 seconds left in the quarter. Butler is back at the 25. A lot of pressure on Baker. He does get delivered a little bit of a blow, but not enough to draw a penalty, and a fair catch is called for at the 28. And that's the first real pressure, Alex, that we've seen delivered on Baker. Westminster almost got there.
And you're going to see he almost blocks that kick. And we talked about, Bright Cannon being one of those guys that is a dangerous returner, but instead he's on the pressure. And they send him off the edge to see if they can get a block kick, but instead he kind of holds up there at the end just to not draw a roughing the kicker penalty, a roughing the punter penalty.
3 receivers to the near side, one on the far side for Levac. And he hands it off with lots of open running space, far side. It's a foot race down the sideline, staying into the 30, 20, 15, 10, touchdown Westminster. Elijah Grayer goes all the way for 6.
I mean, what a run by Grayer. That's just one of those explosive plays that, you can't really predict because that offensive line just opened the floodgates and there was just nobody there to fill that hole. And then you're just hitting, no one's around him. And what a way to stay in the bounds there. And you just love to see what that brings you on the Westminster side.
It's a 72-yard touchdown run for the sophomore Elijah Grayer. His first touchdown of the season. Before that run, Grayer had 77 total rushing yards on the season. Almost reached his season high on one run to extend the Westminster lead.
This is just, the definition of just wide open. And you're going to see, this offensive line's all going to block down. And they're going to clear this whole flood space. And then when you play it, you're just going to see him just basically walk into the hole that's wide open from this offensive line who all blocks down, washes the defensive line down, and Grayer just off to the races for the rest of it.
And once Patterson couldn't push Grayer out of bounds and tiptoes down the sideline, there was no chance he wasn't going to reach the end zone. Pure speed from Elijah Grayer. And now, from a Geneva perspective and point of view, they've thrown the ball more than they've rushed it. And it's typically pretty unorthodox of the Golden Tornadoes to do that.
But now they're going to have to continue to do that. They're down 2 scores. This is probably the worst position you can possibly be in as a Geneva Golden Tornado because now you're forced to throw the ball, and there's no element of surprise now with throwing the football for Geneva. So they're going to have to do something different in order to actually bring this game back to what they want it to be.
Carana kicks it away. It's a short kick that's taken on a fair catch at the 20. So if you're Geneva, just try not to panic in this type of situation. Still try to run your offense and not try to throw it too much, or what approach, if you're Gino DeMarco, would you have?
I think you just got to go back to your bread and butter, and that's get David Reed involved, and then Caleb Miranda is going to have to step up as a runner. And I think unless he can break off a large run, you're kind of forcing those predictable situations to pass. But they just have to sustain a drive through the second quarter and the end of this first quarter and to see if you can get some sort of points on the board. Because, at the end of the day, there's 3 more quarters to play. And I think they really need to just focus on this drive only and getting points out of it.
David Reed has only had 1 rush attempt on the game as Romano looks deep. He has Tyson, and Tyson makes the catch inside the 35. What a throw by Caleb Romano to connect with Tyson already in the Westminster territory.
And Tyson, we talked about on the last drive, not able to crowd those 2 passes in a row, but he makes it count on this one. And Caleb Romano throws a beautiful football to get Tyson out in stride. And that's that chunk play that they need to awake open this offense.
Bryce Butler dragged him down, and it ends the first quarter of play. 14-0, Westminster leads Geneva. You're back to Reese Field after this on KDKA Plus.
It's time to rediscover the original Voodoo Brewing Company pub in beautiful downtown Meadville. Enjoy world-renowned craft beer, delicious and unique cocktails made with our new lineup of VBC spirits and one-of-a-kind food items. Follow our Facebook and Instagram pages to stay updated on our series of live music. And if you're looking to take your celebration to the next level or host a private event, look no further than our production facility only at Voodoo Brewing Company.
At Loewe, we understand the power of personalization. From hats to water bottles, our expert services include screen printing, embroidery, and a variety of promotional items. We also specialize in team sports gear. What truly sets Loewe apart is our dedicated design team, including our talented on-staff graphic designers and exponential customer service. Choose Loewe to make a lasting impression on and off the field.
Now is the time. Today is the day for us to strike out and move forward in confidence and faith.
When severe weather threatens, we're always watching the sky. The First Alert Weather Team is working every day to keep your family safe.
We're on the lookout for those dangerous storms right where you live, keeping an eye on radar to track where the rain, hail, and lightning are hitting. We could see severe thunderstorm warnings.
Warning your neighborhood if we see a potential threat. So we're looking at excessive rainfall expected through this evening.
So we can keep you safe. We're always watching for the next big storm so your family is prepared.
We start the second quarter in the 126th edition of Westminster and Geneva battling it out. First game, 1891, which was won by Geneva 42-0. This time, a run that doesn't go for much. Tackle for loss on Cooper Edmonston. Nowhere to go to set up 2nd and 11.
And Austin, we talked about at the quarter change and just seeing how balanced Geneva has been on offense. And usually we see like 85% rushing and then about 15% passing, but instead, you know, we're seeing a little bit more of a 50-50 type of play calling from Coach Dino DeMarco, which has definitely been impressive so far, but now they're finally starting to get it going with the completion end.
Keaton Heater has done a great job, 47 defensively for Westminster. Pocket collapses in on Romano, and it's incomplete. Diving attempt, and it was Heater. Once again, trying to make the play. Anywhere the football has been, Heater has found a way to be around it as well.
And you almost have an opportunity to stop this drive completely. And I mean, that's a very tough catch to make on the sideline. But, I mean, sometimes those opportunities don't come around a lot.
Third down and 12 at the 34. I wonder what the approach might be for Geneva. See if they can pick up some yards and then go for it on 4th down. With Romano rolling out to the near side. The pass is caught. Set Tyson another reception. Tyson, though, is 2 yards shy of a 1st down. And the offense is remaining on the field.
And it seemed like Finley and Tyson were running almost the exact same route because it goes right through Finley's hands and then lands right in Tyson's hands. So someone's either running the wrong route or that's just a unorthodox play call from Coach DeMarco.
Geneva will go on 4th down and 2. Ball at the 25. Romano under center. Fakes it to Reed. Romano is stopped. Runs right into Dylan Sleva. Geneva turns it over as Sleva blows it up. And another tackle for loss for Dylan Sleva gives it to the Westminster offense.
And Sleva's just on a straight line directly to Caleb Romano and just stands him up. And Caleb Romano's 6'3", you know, big frame for a quarterback, but when you're a running quarterback, you have to keep those pads down. And right there, you're not getting anywhere past Sleva.
If you wondered if Geneva maybe should have kicked the field goal, Evan Baker is 2 of 4 on the season with a long of 36. 2 have also been blocked, as Seth Tyson is being attended to. First down at 10 at the 26-yard line for Billy Levac. Levac fakes the handoff, wants to take a shot. Downfield, has a man open, it's caught! Alex Shaughnessy breaking tackles inside the 40. And the 6'3" tight end makes a huge play to the 39.
And this is a play that we're going to have to come back to because, you know, the play design, the defensive breakdown, it just was a recipe for disaster for Geneva. And Levac, I mean, talk about slinging the ball around. That's just a great play And a great catch by Shaughnessy.
He made 2 defenders Mitch. Fake the pitch. Levac looking deep. Has a man open at the 5 and on a dive. Incomplete. Tate Beachy can't make the catch. Levac took a shot at the end of the throw as well. Able to get up to his feet. Maybe just a little bit underthrown to Beachy. Take another look.
And now they're starting to use Gomes as a little bit of a decoy. Fakes this toss out to him. And Levac just unloads a ball straight to Beachy, who, had an opportunity to make that catch. A tough catch nonetheless, but you got to love the confidence that Coach Benz was giving Levac this game.
Dante Caputo was the last man back in coverage, last man defensively to help make the play as Shaughnessy goes in motion toward the far side of the formation on 2nd down and 10 at the 39. Handed off this time and slipping at the 39. No room for Elijah Grayer as he ran into a wall with Nick Sorello making another tackle. He had 6 in the first quarter.
Unfortunately, that's going to bring Grayer's average down a little bit for rush attempts and rushing yards after having that huge run in the last quarter. But Geneva's starting to tighten up a little bit in the rush game. But they're getting a little bit exposed in the pass game by Levac.
Shotgun for Levac with the ball at the near side hash. 3 receivers line for the far side of the formation. Shaughnessy's the tight end of the near side. Geneva shows pressure and brings it. It's Shaheen, but it's caught. Shaughnessy with room. 1st down and more. Shaughnessy lowers the shoulder to the 20. Alex Shaughnessy, the Seton LaSalle graduate at tight end, has had a terrific drive, 2 significant chunk plays.
And with this play design, they just send all the receivers up the field, and Shaughnessy's going to run this little drag route across the field. Just get him wide open, just see what he can do in space, and right now he's been your main catalyst for the offense.
Movement up front before the snap. The termination is going to be if it was offside first, and that is indeed the case, called against Geneva. And a free 5 yards for Westminster. Alex has been very impressed by Billy Levac today. It seems like, typically when you bring in a backup quarterback, what type of restraints will be on him? Or do you take the chains off and basically let your guy sling it? Well, let it rip was the aggressive approach from Scott Benzel, and it's paid off.
And with the first drive, they really leaned on Gomes, and they noticed that Geneva's really creeping up, stopping the run game, and ever since then, they've completely flipped the script.
Ball at the 14 on 1st down and 5. They hand it off. It's Greaves. Not much there, maybe a yard or 2. Stacked up with Sorello, another stop. Clock continues to run now inside 12 minutes and a half.
With all the chunk plays they've had in the pass game, they haven't really gone a lot going in the intermediates and short routes across the field. So we'll see if it really changes the mindset here inside the red zone.
2 receivers line up far side and near side. Greaves remains the back. Levac gives it to Greaves. Greaves trying to spin his way to the 10 to set up 1st and goal, but he's a yard shy. It's 3rd down and 1 for Westminster, and a jumbo formation package coming onto the field.
And something about Westminster is they love to trot out the jumbo package on short yardage situations, and they have a lot of guys, a lot of big bodies up front that can really move people. So this is one of their go-tos, and right now they're going to have a fullback in. They're going to see what they can do on the short yards play.
Westminster averages 49% conversion rate on 3rd down. They hand it off with room. Far side, breaking a tackle, walking in the end zone. Clayton Cannon, touchdown Westminster. Clayton Cannon Jr. continues to add on to this lead, 20-0 Westminster. Completely handling Geneva in the first half.
And you can't chalk up a better start for Westminster, who you're coming with the backup quarterback. Ty McGowan's out. How are they going to handle it? Billy Levac just stepping in and just doing exactly what he's expected to do. And Coach Benzel's giving him the reins. And this offense just looks really explosive. And Geneva, coming out trying to be a little different in the pass game, but right now not able to get much going.
Andrew Carana's extra point is up and good. I think all expectations of what Billy Levac could have done so far have been exceeded, but a lot of football still to go. Clayton Cannon Jr. finds the end zone, 21-0 Westminster.
It's Potomac Furniture's 75th anniversary sale. Celebrate our birthday with 40, 50, and 60% savings. Stop in today, Route 19 in McMurray, or visit PotomacFurniture.com. Furniture of distinction at a price you can afford.
At Two Men and a Junk Truck, we can remove your things, so you have room to dream.
As someone who disrupts plans for a living, I can't say enough about the importance of life insurance. Sometimes you can see the end zone right ahead of you, you can have a clear shot, then bam, it's Cam. A policy from GBU Life can let you focus more on getting out from under what life throws at you and worry less about protecting the life you are working hard to build. You can get a policy with GBU Life that is affordable to you now and build on it for the future with their guaranteed purchase option rider. Get started protecting the life you are building today at gbu.org.
21-0. Westminster leads Geneva. Still 10-11 to go here in the first half of play. Austin Bechtold, Alex Terrett, and Robert Mangino alongside Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania. Billy Levesque is 7 of 9 for 113 yards and a touchdown. He's completing 78% of his passes.
And they've all been deep shots. And the fact that he has a 78% completion rate, I'm sure his average attempt is pretty high. And I think, you know, this just attests to the type of player he is. And he shows up, and if he's going to play hard. And I think right now his decision-making is where it needs to be. I think he's commanding the offense very well. And by the scoreboard, you know he's doing well.
Westminster has already rushed for over 100 yards and thrown for over 100 yards in the game. Very well-balanced attack and a fair catch called for on the kickoff. So let's take a look at some of the scores around the President's Athletic Conference. Carnegie Mellon all over Allegheny. CMU 42-3. Grove City and Case Western in a close one. 9-0 two-score game in Grove City. St. Vincent and Bethany 10-7 the score at Chuck Noll Field, and Waynesburg leading Teal 7-0 at John F. Wiley Stadium. Most of the games in the second quarter, CMU Allegheny in the second half. That game again at noon. So Caleb Romano sets up shop at the 25. Still a lot of time in this game. Romano gets dragged down. No chance. Gary Joseph's 5th sack of the season leads the team in sacks, adds on another. It's a loss of 4.
I mean, is anyone going to block him? I think someone's got to miss something there, because he just comes straight into the backfield. Romano doesn't even have a chance to pull it away from David Reed, and then just gets lit up in the backfield. This Westminster defense is definitely for real right now.
They fake it to Reed, and he's gotten really no running room in the few instances where he's been able to carry the ball. Let me see if they try to get Reed going. 2nd and long. Instead, it's Romano trying to escape. Romano getting dragged down again. Jaden Jackson from Fort Pierce, Florida, the sophomore defensive tackle, records back-to-back sacks for Westminster.
Back-to-back sacks. Like, I don't even know what to say about that, because right now Romano's looking deep, doesn't see anything. And just how about the reach? Able to grab Romano and just pull him in with one arm and then finish the sack. And he's having a great drive so far.
A disastrous start to the drive for Geneva. I would imagine that Westminster's going to play 3 safeties back towards the 35-yard line, the line to gain. They currently drop 2 with Romano under center, 2 receivers to the far side, 1 on the near side. Romano will roll to the far side. Has a man open. It's Seth Tyson streaking down the field. Tyson makes the catch. It's Keaton Baker, rather, who makes the catch. But regardless of who made the grab, a terrific play from Romano.
How about Keaton Baker? That average of 26 yards a catch definitely shown on this play here. Romano just chucks the ball up, and Baker's wide open. And he's that big play, that home run type player that we've talked about so much today. It's like, how do you get wide open like that? And it's all because run. As soon as the ball goes in the air, Baker's wide open.
To the 39 of Westminster. This time they'll hand it to Reed, and Reed is able to get a yard. David Reed had 104 rush attempts on the season coming into today. 410 yards. Reached the end zone 3 times against Bethany. It's only his second carry.
And I think that's, they wanted to come out a little differently today and throw the ball around like you saw with Romano and Baker. And Baker's gotten more touches than David Reed, which in a triple option, that's just almost unheard of. For the fullback to get less carries and less touches than the receivers.
Romano rolling near side. Delivers, caught. That time it is set, Tyson. And it was almost broken up. How about Romano just barely getting enough touch to deliver a pass to Tyson and move the chains?
And David Reed kind of misses his block here. Not able to hold on, and Romano, defender right in his face, delivers a great football to Tyson. Tyson's able to secure the grab, and right now, this is the Geneva offense that we want to see. Throwing the ball around, and they're completing the passes that they need to.
And Kai West just barely missed the football. It's a couple inches out of his reach to break it up. Romano keeps it, will take it himself. Romano inside the 20. Romano still going inside the 15. Best run of the game for Caleb Romano, and we're starting to see some rhythm from Geneva, and all because of picking up that 3rd and long.
And this happens because, Westminster's not accounting for the quarterback. They immediately shoot towards the pitch man, and then Romano gives that fake and then just bursts upfield and is able to shake a few tacklers, which we haven't really seen a lot. Fakes the pitch, takes up the field, and that's how you extend plays in the triple option.
And a quick moving drive for Geneva. Westminster decides to call timeout and talk about it. There's been a lot of injuries on this team for Geneva, just banged up in so many different areas. Landon Smith, the sophomore running back from Newcastle, not playing today with an injury. He's going to be out for a while. No Gabe Trexler on the defensive side of the ball. Probably the best defensive player for Geneva. But, Gino DeMarco said it's not like Scott Benzel is going to give us 14 points because you feel sorry for us. It's not going to happen at the very start of the game. And now in a 21-0 deficit, this drive so crucial to be able to reach the end zone.
Like you said with Coach DeMarco this week, he was talking to us about how there's no sympathy points in football. And like you said, you're not just going to get points just because you're injured, right? And it's just been so unfortunate because of the people that they've had missing time due to injuries. And like you said, Trexler, Landon Smith, who are contributors on both sides of the ball, with offense with Landon Smith and defensively with Gabe Trexler. It's just those super impactful players that they've been missing, and this could have been a completely different year if you had those guys on the field in the entire season.
And you wonder for Geneva, there's been 3-7 seasons, there's been some 4-6, a couple just 2-win seasons during this stretch, the last time that they had 5 wins. And you wonder, what is that next step to take? This is that type of game to be able to establish yourself with Geneva. Deciding to run it, and not much there for Finley. Dragged down at the 16. Matthew Petruzzi on the tackle.
And a little different of a look here with Bryce Finley lined up as a traditional running back in the backfield, and they go basically like a I formation. Instead, Westminster defense just not biting on any sort of fakes, and they're just able to secure the tackle on Finley.
Loss of 2, 2nd down and 12. Romano will pitch it. Finley to the 10 and out of bounds. Knocked out by Kai West, the freshman from Seneca Valley High School, at a safety spot.
And they've really used Finley a lot today in place of Landon Smith. And, he has that extra little bit of space and acceleration that you see as soon as he gets the ball, he turns the field and just gets as many yards as he possibly can. And right now in this 3rd and intermediate, might see Caleb Romano roll out and see if he can get someone that's open in the end zone.
3rd and 6, the lineup, Seth Tyson, the wide receiver to the near side. Baker on the far side of the formation. Everyone's bunched in tight. Romano will run it himself and runs into a wall. Right in the Lawrence Kasanzele. What a great play from the Hopewell graduate. Another freshman at 6'4" and sets up 4th down.
And now Geneva has a tough decision to make. Do you get points on the board with a field goal, or do you try and be a little bit more aggressive and go for the 7 and go for 7 points? And I think, Coach DeMarco is definitely going to continue his aggressiveness, but instead he wants to talk it over first.
First charge.
First time out for Geneva after the Kasanzele tackle. We'll take a break with them with 5:19 to go in the first half. Geneva knocking on the door of points for a decision to make on 4th down.
Think you've tried everything at Panera? think again. Introducing more new sandwiches and salads with our new flavor-packed toasted Italiano and the mouth-watering Mediterranean chicken greens with grains. More in every bite, just like the new ciabatta cheesesteak with melty provolone and garlic aioli. And more new options under $10, including our new creamy bacon mac and cheese. Come taste the new era at Panera.
From heating and cooling to a large array of construction equipment, Herc Rentals has the gear you need to get the job done. Herc Rentals is already a staple in several communities across the United States and Canada and have been serving our customers' needs since 1965. With a catalog of equipment that spans the spectrum of almost every kind of solution you can think of. To learn more about Herc Rentals, visit hercrentals.com or call us at 1-888-777-2700.
More than 140 community pharmacies have closed since January here in the state of Pennsylvania.
When our local pharmacies started closing, we started asking questions. The answers pointed to a group of middlemen locking pharmacists into what they call predatory contracts. And our investigation leading to big change in Harrisburg.
Governor Josh Shapiro will sign legislation aimed at saving pharmacies from going out of business.
Both sides of the aisle coming together to allow the bill to come to fruition.
KDKA investigates.
4th down and 6 at the 10-yard line. Romano lines up with 2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. Romano rolls far side. Pass looking for Finley. Never saw the football, and it's incomplete. Miscommunication for Geneva. Finley was open, but just never got his head turned around to the ball.
Looking up here in the booth, you just think that Finley turns his head to catch that flat route, and that's a walk-in touchdown almost, or at least he's wide open to make the first down. But instead, Finley just not on the same page with Romano, and that just usually happens when you have a lot of guys shuffling in. Finley not used to getting a lot of the play time with Landon Smith out, and that's just one of those mistakes that can't happen in that situation.
So first down for Westminster at the 10. Send Smith Austin in motion towards the far side, line him up in the slot. Levac with time, loading up to take a shot, but instead we'll dump it off to Shaughnessy. Makes his way to the 14 for a 4-yard gain. Mangino, is that what you saw down on the sideline? Just some miscommunication on 4th down, trying to connect with Finley?
That's exactly what it looked like. It almost looked as though he was going to do an out and then go. He never looked back for the ball whatsoever, and you can see the frustration on Coach DeMarco's face on both sides of the ball here. Big plays they're giving up on defense and just miscommunications on offense.
2nd down and 6. Levac fakes the handoff. Slant route, dangerous play, but it's caught. Smith Austin on the reception. And he moves the chains for a first down, but that play from Billy Levac, we talked about the aggressiveness, could have been picked off. Route was almost jumped.
He's just able to have just enough touch to get the ball to his receiver. And like you said, very dangerous play, but I mean, being up 21-0 in the first half shows how the aggressiveness has really worked in this game so far. Right now, just catching another break on that play.
Noah Hutcherson put a hand up, and Levac did a good job to get it over top of him. Shaheen shows pressure off the left side of the line. They hand it off to Gomes. Gomes stacks up at the line. No gain on the play. Multiple different players convening in on the tackle, including Isiago, a freshman nose tackle. Seems like we said freshman so often, Alex, and I mean, that is something that's so critical in the PAC. You hear it from other coaches, especially teams that are at the top. Andrew DiDonato talks about it all the time at Grove City, Mike Sirianni at Washington and Jefferson, that older veteran players win in this league, but at the same time, how do you get those guys in those positions? That's what Geneva and Westminster's doing to be able to have young players play, and could be beneficial for them in the long run. As Levac looks to take another shot downfield, pass is caught. Washington is taken out of bounds at the 40. Dante Caputo made the tackle, but another good pass from Billy Levac. It's like the Russell Wilson moonball. Get enough loft on it for your receiver to make the catch.
It's just, what a beautiful pass. And Washington looks over his shoulder, does a great contested catch there. But Levac is what he was signed up to be as a backup quarterback. You're going to come in, you're going to bring a spark to this team. And right now he's doing just that. And I think, you can't say enough about this kid. And in his mindset going into this week.
3 minutes left in the half. Geneva snaps it with 6 on the play clock. Levac looking deep again. Double covered. Washington can't make the catch. It's overthrown.
After watching that first drive and seeing Levac just, not really holding the ball very long, giving the ball to Gomes on every single play, and then since he had that one big completion in the first quarter, he's just been go, go, go. And I don't even want to know how many pass attempts he has so far in this first half, but it seems like almost every other play he's dropping back and throwing deep.
He's been aggressive, and it's paid off. Levac now with 10 completions for 13 yards and 110 completions on 13 attempts, 144 yards in the game. Second down and 10 for Levac, and this time he'll hand it off with Gomes being dragged down. Only a couple yards on second down.
And right now I think Levac's definitely going to go deep again. Coach Benzel knows that Levac can do it, and I think he brings a little bit more veteran leadership to this team, and he's definitely going to air it out on this play.
Demir White is in at running back, standing to the left of Levac on 3rd down and 9. White, another freshman, 45 carries on the season. Levac, 2 receivers line up either side. Plenty of time in the pocket, deep drop back. Levac steps up, now looks to run. Levac tries to get the edge far side. He does. Levac first down and more down the sideline inside the 40-yard line, and it fires up the Westminster sideline. Billy Levac is having a day in the first half.
Man, this is Billy Levac's legacy game right now with his arm, and also he's got some speed to him, and we talked about Russell Wilson. He kind of looks like Russell Wilson when number 3. He doesn't run a whole lot, but when he does, he can make some plays.
And not a lot of players make Reed Gordon miss in space. And that's what Levac did, and a disappointed Golden Tornado as we reach the 2-minute timeout with 1:58 left to go. 21-0, Westminster out in front.
Quiet on set? No way. This is Jake's time to shine, and Ryan's, and our crew. Cameras, check. Drones, check. Checking that shot we just checked? Double check. We ain't got time to chill. We're out here capturing this action. This is when we get to work, to bring you every moment live, no matter what. Broadcasting changes everything. Transform how you experience the game with JRM Video Production.
Hey, Mom, where's the dock?
It's in the garage.
Oh, yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Today is the day. Let's take a quick look at the weather and traffic. It's a chilly 22 degrees out there, so bundle up. We'll be hanging out all day, so don't forget to stop by and see us, grab some hot chocolate, and support a great cause.
When you step through that door or shake their hands, will you be prepared? When you stand up for a client or walk into that meeting, will you be ready to prove to them that you deserve to be there?
When you come to Washington and Jefferson, you will be.
Washington and Jefferson College. Are you ready?
Welcome back to Beaver Falls, where Westminster leads 21-0 and driving once again with the ball at the 37-yard line after the scramble from Billy Levac. Playing for the injured Ty McGowan. And you'd think that Levac is the starter, the way that he's performed today. He lines up under center. Sends Smith Austin in motion towards the near side of the formation. He gets set, and Levac on a play fake. Looking deep. Has a man, Washington, another reception, moves the chains again. Jalen Washington, a good job to come back to the football. Dante Caputo was the one who had the coverage, but Washington just able to box out his defender towards the ball and make a great grab.
It's a great grab, great pass, but also a great concept. And just sending all the receivers straight down the field, have Washington come across the opposite side of the field and drag all the way on the other side, and he's just getting open.
Levac will throw it again. Rolling out to the near side. Levac now rolls to the far side, trying to make something happen. Levac still on his feet. Levac delivers out of bounds and just throws it away. Closest man there was Smith Austin. This is just backyard football from Billy Levac, trying to make something happen, escaping, getting away from pressure. It's been fun to watch.
I mean, he probably ran 10 miles back in the pocket because he goes left, spins out, goes all the way back across the right, almost gets tripped up, and then just launches it out of bounds, which, I mean, you don't want to take a sack there. You don't want to stall this drive any further by getting a sack and taking 5 yards back, but instead he just makes a play, throws it out of bounds, lives to fight another down.
Would have lost over 15 yards, maybe 20. And instead it's 2nd down and 10. 1:21 remaining in the half. 2 timeouts left for Westminster. Levac with all kind of time delivers towards the end zone. Touchdown, Westminster! Tate Beachy finds the end zone. Westminster again delivers on another score.
Tate Beachy with the moves there at the end, but instead, you know, he's going to run this corner route, run this post route, across the middle of the field. And he just makes man miss in the beginning, and then that's a great, once again, a great football thrown by Billy Levac. We've said it all day. I think, you know, I don't even know if he plays like this in practice, but I mean, if I'm Coach Benzel, I'm loving what I'm seeing from my backup.
Extra point is up and good. I just am blown away with how Billy Levac is playing in this game. You know, you hear Ty McGowan's going to be out, and you think, okay, maybe Westminster's going to have some trouble. But, Alex, that's not been the case.
And right here, you're going to see Tate Beachy in the middle. He's going to run this little post route across the middle, and he's going to look right here at the defender. And if you play it, you're going to see, you know, he's going to get away from his initial defender and, you know, staring in the backfield, not looking at this player in front of him. And Tate Beachy does the rest and puts on the moves there for another Westminster score.
So 1:17 still to go. And the unfortunate thing about the triple option is that in this type of atmosphere of the score being 28-0, the option offense, which, I mean, Geneva has wanted to throw it more than we've ever seen them want to in a game. It's hard to come back when you're down by this much, the type of offensive formations that you run.
I mean, there's 3 options in a triple option. There's no option for this type of game that's going on right now. And it's just, you just have to just change everything that you do. You have to drop back and pass, which you're not comfortable with. Your quarterback's not used to it. Your receivers are used to only having one-on-one coverage. Now there's more people in the secondary. It's definitely not where you want to be.
Patterson bobbles the football, and the Golden Tornadoes just have to fall on it at the 18-yard line, and it just continues to be a tough day at the office for Geneva. Seems like Patterson, I don't know if he was looking up into the sun, if he took his eyes off of it.
I mean, that's the second time we've seen that today. One from each team, and I think it definitely has to do something with the sun being in the place that it is. And you got to wonder, you know, can Geneva continuously overcome this adversity that they have in front of them, be in an offense that's not built for this type of comeback? And we'll see what they can do. And I think Caleb Romano can do something.
He rolls out to the far side, and Romano delivers. Good pass. It's caught up past the 30, 35, and out of bounds. It's a good play to start the drive for the Golden Tornadoes. We'll take another look as Cooper Edmondson made the catch.
He just gives a little flip of the ball, drag the dude's receiver, and you're just going to see, like, there's nothing there. And then immediately just throws it over, extend the play a little bit. But, I mean, only with a minute left, you definitely got to take your shot downfield.
Romano will throw it again, rolling out towards the near side. Romano delivers downfield for Tyson. He's got it. Set Tyson at the 40-yard line. Good job adjusting back to the football. And Caleb Romano able to sling it downfield.
And this is the type of player we want to see him be. And Coach DeMarcos tells us how good Caleb Romano's been. And I mean, these passes are where you want him to be. And I think, you know, he's starting to develop over the course of this season, and we see the record. He has something to do with it, and I think he's going to continuously evolve for this team throughout the season.
He's only a sophomore. Romano fakes the pitch. Open man. Another catch from Tyson. First down and more inside the 25. Down at the 24-yard line. 52 seconds left. Clock stops to spot the football and now rolls.
Tyson able to slow down. Able to get that ball from behind him. That was thrown a little bit behind from Romano. But now you're just seeing, you know, 3 receiver sets, something different. But also it's being successful so far.
Romano near side again. Pump fake. Tries to deliver some traffic downfield, incomplete. Broken up by Bryce Butler on Seth Tyson. And the two players wearing number 3 on the field collide into each other and force an incompletion.
You got to talk about how athletic Bryce Butler is in the secondary. Just the way, as soon as he sees the ball in the air, he just closes right in on the receiver and just tries to get between the receiver and the football. He does a great job of that, breaking up the pass from Romano.
32 seconds left. And a great chance for Geneva. I mean, this drive started. Only a minute and change left. A couple big plays to keep it rolling. Romano fakes the pitch. Under pressure, Romano delivers a heave downfield. And the ball is ruled a completion for Keaton Baker. Baker is 2 yards shy of a first down, and Geneva will call timeout. 1 remaining for Gino DeMarco.
Well, it's a good thing the officials do not do a review of this play because, I mean, it was a little close, but Baker, I think, is able to get his hands underneath the football before it gets down.
Mangino, did that look like a catch to you?
It looked like one to me. I'm over on the Westminster side right now, and he got his hands right underneath it from my angle. I was right on the same yard line as he was, and it sure looked like a catch to me.
Take another look from our sideline camera from Evan Laurent. And it's very close. Third down and 2 coming up. I would imagine, Alex, that if this gets to 4th down, you have to go for it and do everything possible to score a touchdown. I mean, you can't settle for a field goal, right?
Of course, and I think, you take the score out of it, right? And you can see right here, his hands are underneath the football, and that's a great call by the officiating crew because in real time, that doesn't look like a catch, but, if you slow it down, you definitely see it. And the officials definitely doing their job there in this game.
Great job by Jake Muslimchik and Ryan Milan inside our production truck to blow that one up and show you the catch, and Corey Berger as well. 3rd down for Geneva. Tyson to the near side, Baker to the far side. Wide receivers in the formation. Send Edmondson in motion. Here's Romano under pressure, delivers a wobbler to the end zone. It's caught. Touchdown. Touchdown, Golden Tornadoes. Seth Tyson scores the first points of the game for Geneva. Golden Tornadoes on the board before halftime.
What did we just witness there with Geneva being that first score of the game? Romano just throws up a prayer, and then Seth Tyson just goes up and grabs it. And we talked about how athletic the secondary is, how physical they are, but, I mean, Seth Tyson just like, I want the ball more than you. And he comes down with it, and Geneva gets some sort of momentum going in the second half.
Evan Baker will kick the extra point. Good snap, good hold. Baker's kick. Up and good. 28-7, the lead for Westminster.
If you take a look at this play here, you're going to have Seth Tyson kind of running a streak, and then he sits back. You're also going to have this flat route coming in. And once you play it, you're going to see Seth Tyson just abort his play of running down the field. And then he just sits there and just lets Romano just throw up a ball and just make something happen.
And Geneva really needed points before the end of the half there. Anything to feel good going into the locker room to really cut this deficit because, I mean, Westminster averages over 35 points per game and only gives up 14 per game. So defensively, Westminster, which is pretty much the strong suit for Westminster overall as a team, it always has been as a program, at least for the last decade under Scott Benzel. But it's been the offense, Alex, that has most stood out today.
And at the beginning of the drive, we're talking about how sad it is that Geneva can't do what they want to do, but they just do exactly the opposite of what we said. And I think they relied on the pass game. Romano stepped up. He did what he needed to do. He's putting the ball a little in harm's reach, but instead he got very lucky on that drive with some great catches by his receivers and Tyson on the touchdown.
It's a short kick. That's bounced at the 29-yard line. That's a live football. Eligible to be picked up, and that was almost playing with fire there, Alex, as Nathan Wadsworth, the backup tight end, just kind of let it fall to him and decided to pick it up before it went out of bounds.
I think he was trying to see if it would bounce directly out of bounds so that he wouldn't have to actually field it, but instead just gets an unlucky bounce and something with the football, it's like, the shape that it is, you never know how it's going to bounce. And sometimes it just stops on a dime, and in that case it does. Still able to fall on it, but definitely playing with fire there, because that could have definitely given Geneva extra hope in this game.
So Westminster has 2 timeouts left in the half, 17 seconds and change. See if Levac dials up another shot. He does to the far side, throws up a jump ball, incomplete. Looking for Ethan Burford. Was double covered. Good coverage from Blaze Hargrove. It kind of looked like a game of jackpot at the 40-yard line with 3 guys jumping up at the same time looking for the football, and nobody came down with it. 2 there, and Dante Caputo there for extra assistance.
And I think, exactly like you said, like a game of jackpot. I wonder how much that one was worth, because a lot of bodies around that football, and that's just what you get with Levac, and we talked about how amazing he's been today, but I mean, that's definitely a little bit of a dangerous play, because, if that's ball's intercepted, there's not a lot of people in front.
So 2 receivers to the far side, 2 to the near side. I think we had 2 players that had their helmets stuck to each other at the line of scrimmage after that play. Levac this time will hand it off, and nothing there. See, Geneva maybe elects to call a timeout. Only has 1 left, so why not? Let the clock roll out and go to halftime. And a 28-7 lead for Westminster. The Titans without Ty McGowan had no problem moving the football with Billy Levac, the junior quarterback from Macedonia, Ohio, has been terrific in a 21-point lead for Westminster. Levac in this first half, 12 of 16 for 181 yards and 2 touchdowns. Westminster as a team has also rushed for over 100 yards. A well-balanced attack against Geneva, and a 28-7 lead for the Titans at 6-2 on the season. Robert Mangino's with Scott Benzel.
Coach, Billy Levac, outstanding performance this first half. Is that what you expected from him this afternoon?
As I told you, he's a slinger. He's going to put it up there. We just saw some things in their pass defense we felt like we could take advantage of it, and he's had a heck of a first half.
And then Geneva really coming out of character in this game, throwing the ball a lot. A surprise to you?
Yes and no. I didn't think we'd be at a shootout here in the pass game, but they have a lot of great weapons there. Their quarterback's very confident. We're just not making plays in the secondary, and credit to them. They're doing a nice job.
Any adjustments you see needing to be made going into halftime?
Yeah, we might have to play a little bit more of some coverage type defenses. We're hanging our guys out a little bit. We got to give them a little bit of break and then settle them in.
Coach, thank you very much. All the best to you.
I appreciate it.
Austin?
Scott Benzel said that, you had really, as a defensive back, in the message that he delivered to his guys, just make sure you stay alert, always be ready. I don't think any of us were ready to see the passing attack that Geneva has put out there today. And an offense that averages only 91 passing yards per game has put up 200 in the game and only 36 rushing yards, despite averaging 172 per game. It results in a 28-7 lead for Westminster. The Titans lead, and our halftime coverage is next on KDKA+.
I'm Megan Schiller, and I'm on an important new assignment to save you money.
I'm going to tell you everything you need to know before you go out and buy more sunscreen.
Protect you from the sneakiest scams.
Pay attention to your mail because a scam letter could soon arrive.
And put the power of KDKA behind you when you've been wronged and feel like no one else will listen.
After you did some calling, emailing, I fabulously got phone calls.
I'm the only local reporter doing this, so if you need answers, just think Message Megan. KDKA investigates.
It's time to rediscover the original Voodoo Brewing Company pub in beautiful downtown Meadville. Enjoying world-renowned craft beer, delicious and unique cocktails made with our new lineup of VBC spirits and one-of-a-kind food items. Follow our Facebook and Instagram pages to stay updated on our series of live music. And if you're looking to take your celebration to the next level or host a private event, look no further than our production facility, only at Voodoo Brewing Company.
Trout Plumbing is a registered and insured master plumber that services the South Hills. They offer a variety of services, including camera inspections and dye testing. Trout Plumbing also offers a veteran and senior citizen discount. When in doubt, call the Trout at 412-983-8106.
At Laway, we understand the power of personalization. From hats to water bottles, our expert services include screen printing, embroidery, and a variety of promotional items. We also specialize in team sports gear. What truly sets Loway apart is our dedicated design team, including our talented on-staff graphic designers and exponential customer service. Choose Loway to make a lasting impression on and off the field.
From heating and cooling to a large array of construction equipment, Herc Rentals has the gear you need to get the job done. Herc Rentals is already a staple in several communities across the United States and Canada and have been serving our customers' needs since 1965. With a catalog of equipment that spans the spectrum of almost every kind of solution you can think of. To learn more about Herc Rentals, visit hercrentals.com or call us at 1-888-777-2700.
Now is the time. Today is the day for us to strike out and move forward in confidence and faith. Welcome to halftime. Westminster jumps out to a 28-0 lead, and then Geneva surprisingly coming back in the last 2 minutes to score a touchdown to make it 28-7. We'll have more on the first half coming up with Austin and Alex in just a few minutes. First, though, we want to go to the senior interview that we have for this week. It's Geneva defensive linebacker Reed Gordon, the 6-foot, 210-pound linebacker from Boonesboro, Maryland, who had an opportunity to sit down with Austin back on PAC Media Day.
You're watching PAC football here on KDKA+. I'm Austin Bechtel, joined alongside Geneva's junior linebacker, Reed Gordon. Reed, good to be along with you.
Good to be with you.
Boonesboro, Maryland. What brought you to Geneva?
I definitely have to say the small, tight-knit community. Geneva, when I came in, the coaches were very welcome to me. They wanted to know my family. They wanted to know all about me. Academics were strong there. When I was looking for school, the biggest thing for me was looking for an engineering program that I could excel in. And a great opportunity to continue my football program with.
Yeah, what is the best part about the engineering program at Geneva that drew you to the school?
I have to say they challenge you. I don't want to go into school and be at a cakewalk. You know, you're going to get into the work atmosphere and you're going to get everything thrown at you. I want to be prepared for that. I want to have a tough academic year and I want to be ready for my future.
And I can tell that just your preparation prepares you for football as well. And somebody that studies the game as well as you being a junior here at PAC Media Day. What's your football journey been like for you to this point?
Growing up, I started football pretty early. About second grade, I started flag football. And then growing up about fifth grade, I took a year off football to focus on baseball. I came from a baseball family and just couldn't see my life without football. So ever since then, I knew like football, I had to keep on playing no matter what. If I had the opportunity, I got to keep going. All the sacrifices I make, that football is the rest of my life.
Did baseball, anything from baseball, help you in your development in football?
Yeah, I definitely have to say the pressure. I mean, in baseball, there's a lot of pressure. I mean, one man's got the ball. I mean, the ball's hit at you, all that pressure. Everybody's looking at you. So definitely the pressure in baseball really helped me out.
Talking to Reed Gordon of Geneva College. So, Reed, going into this season, what are one of your main goals, just individually and also for the team?
One of my main goals is, I'd have to say, just get comfortable out there. I'm coming into a spot. I was a placement man last year. I got to see some time, but for me, just to be comfortable out there, no worries, just go out there, have fun, and play the game. For my team, I definitely like to see us excel. I mean, every year you say you want to at least be a 500 team, but I want to get further than that. I want to get that 11th game, and I want us to be one of the toughest defenses out there in the pack.
Coach DeMarco spoke very highly of you and very highly of the program at Geneva. What is it? Very much like a family atmosphere.
Yes, sir.
And it's said a lot by different programs. Why do you feel like that's such a strong standard that's held at Geneva?
I think it is a strong standard because trust is the number one thing there. If you want to excel and if you want to be good in the future, you got to have trust. And everything from your academic to your professors to anybody in the cafeteria. I mean, they're going to be nice to you and they're going to show you and they're going to be strong and nice to you.
What's been one of your favorite memories putting on this helmet and representing Geneva?
I definitely have to say just my first collegiate game. I mean, I sat on the sideline. I mean, what you do as a freshman, your first game of the season. But I mean, it was fun. I got to be in the back room where all the prep goes. I mean, your anxiety's through the roof, and you're just seeing everybody get amped up. And like, I'm like, I made it. Like, this is cool. And that was definitely my nicest probably my best moment as a college football player.
Do you think that that's something that maybe is underappreciated by people at Geneva, or is there something that maybe people don't know about the college that you want them to know about?
I guess playing college football, it's a blessing. But, you see it, people are like, oh, you play college football, it's cool. But, you just got to keep going. You got to take advantage of every rep you get. You got to be blessed for everything you get. It's a blessing. I can't thank it enough.
Reed, only a junior. You still have one more year left. But what do you want your memory and legacy, really, to be at Geneva?
Definitely coming to Geneva, I want to stand out as a man of faith. I want to be a guy who, a dream of mine is always to grow up and have a family who we all serve under the Lord. And definitely, as people who look at me, I want to see them as that was a man of faith who gave his everything in each and every day and trusted everybody in his life.
Yeah, what other future goals do you have once you graduate and also academically?
When I graduate, just definitely get in the workforce. Here and there, military, I've thought about that too, but just definitely getting in the workforce and having a nice, strong family. I came from a strong family, and everything I've learned from them, I can give to my family growing up.
What draws you to the military?
I don't know. I've had family come in, come out. We serve in we're in a pretty hard time in the world right now, and everyone's got to do their time.
Finally, Reed, you mentioned your family already. What would you say to the people who have been there along the way for you, your family, friends, and support staff?
I have to say thank you. It's been a challenging road. We've been through a lot, and they've never gave up on me from day one to now. That they're my true ones. They're my love, and I can't thank them enough.
Linebacker Reed Gordon, Geneva.
Appreciate
your time here on KDKA+.
It is halftime. Westminster and Geneva. Westminster big, 28-7 on top of the Golden Tornadoes. Now it's time for a look at the last couple of weeks in the PAC big plays. Here are the PAC top 10 plays of the past 2 weeks.
Hello everyone and welcome back. I'm Ethan Spazarski, and it has been a hot second since you and I have seen each other, but I'm glad to see you and you're back. Now let's get into another special edition of Top 10 Plays the past 2 weeks around the PAC. Starting off with number 10, 2 weeks ago, St. Vincent hosted the Carnegie Mellon Tartans, and on the only scoring drive for the Bearcats, wide receiver Austin Wells came up with this big 40-yard catch and run. The number 9 play is at Allegheny, where the Gators quarterback Trevor Brinchick finds Chris Geiswhite along the sideline between the Waynesburg defense for this 19-yard touchdown. The number 8 play, we traveled 2 weeks ago, where running back David Reed for the Geneva Golden Tornadoes takes this 33-yard rush to the house and helps the Golden Tornadoes get the 34-27 win at Bethany. Moving on to the number 7 play this week, we go back to Latrobe, where the Carnegie Mellon Tartans get the special teams touchdown when they block this St. Vincent punt to take the 20-7 lead in the middle of the second quarter. At number 6, we have Jacob McCosco doing what he's been doing all year, which is making plays as he grabs the wide open 53-yard touchdown bomb from quarterback Jake Pugh as the Presidents take their lead to 35 points. With number 5, same place, same game, same team, as Jake Pugh finds the other A-plus receiver and John Peduzzi for the 66-yard touchdown. Presidents went on to win this game 48-7 on Senior Day in Washington. Number 4, we head to Meadville, PA, where Waynesburg and Allegheny met 2 weeks ago, and Zane Colley, the leading rusher in the PAC, provided us with this 70-yard screenplay touchdown to help the Jackets go up 13-7 on the Gators. Here at number 3, we go back to Bethany. For this time, we see the Golden Tornadoes execute their big play ability when Keaton Baker caught this 72-yard pass and took it to the end zone, take the early 7-6 lead against the Bison. The number 2 play, we see Jack Jolly from Grove City make a huge hit on receiver Isaac Trout to get the 4th down stop against the Yellow Jackets and help get the 51-0 win for the Wolverines and help advance themselves to 7-1 on the season. And the number one play this week belongs to the Waynesburg University Yellow Jackets as they executed multiple clutch catches to help set up Drew Pinkerton for the game-winning field goal to close out a thriller of a game between Waynesburg and Allegheny that resulted in a final score of 44-41. Well, that wraps up this week's edition of Top 10 Plays. We hope you enjoyed these plays from the past 2 weeks. A lot of talent being shown throughout the President's Athletic Conference on both sides of the ball. That'll do it here for this week. For myself, Ethan Spazarski, I now say so long from Waynesburg. We'll see you next week for another edition of Top 5 Plays.
To 7, Westminster all over Geneva. Coming up in just a couple of minutes, a little bit of a recap of the first half and what to look forward to in the second with Austin and Alex on the PAC.
From every corner of every county.
Reporting in Pine Township.
In Armstrong County.
Reporting in Moon Township.
In Dunbar, Fayette County.
In Westmoreland County.
In Murraysville.
Wherever news happens that impacts you.
The damage isn't isolated to just one area. Multiple communities have a mess to deal with, and KDKA is covering it all for you tonight.
KDKA will be there.
Reporting in Aspinall.
In Canonsburg, Washington County.
Reporting live in Cranberry Township.
This is our newsroom. KDKA TV News.
Iron City Ninja Party Zone is for everybody. We are a fun, innovative facility featuring a convenient, hassle-free, and fun environment for your next birthday. With exciting obstacles and Ninja Warrior courses, anyone can build strength and connect with friends. Our dedicated staff ensures every child enjoys a thrilling adventure while exploring our brand new facility. Ready for a challenge and unforgettable excitement? Contact us today for a one-of-a-kind birthday experience your kids will never forget.
Quiet on set? No way. This is Jake's time to shine, and Ryan's, and our crew. Cameras, check. Drones, check. Checking that shot we just checked? Double check. We ain't got time to chill. We're out here capturing this action. This is when we get to work, to bring you every moment live, no matter what. Broadcasting changes everything. Transform how you experience the game with JRM Video Production.
It's time to rediscover the original Voodoo Brewing Company pub in beautiful downtown Meadville. Enjoy world-renowned craft beer, delicious and unique cocktails made with our new lineup of VBC spirits and one-of-a-kind food items. Follow our Facebook and Instagram pages to stay updated on our series of live music. And if you're looking to take your celebration to the next level or host a private event, look no further than our production facility, only at Voodoo Brewing Company.
It's Potomac Furniture's 75th anniversary sale. Celebrate our birthday with 40, 50, and 60% savings. Stop in today, Route 19 in McMurray, or visit PotomacFurniture.com. Furniture of distinction at a price you can afford.
To learn more, visit gcc.edu.
Welcome back, 28-7, Westminster all over Geneva. And guys, I got to tell you, it's really interesting. When we were talking to Coach Benzel about what would it take to get Ty McGowan back into the game, it's a break glass situation we talked about earlier. And the way that Billy Levac is playing today, he wants him to be encased in this glass, never to come out again. What a performance so far in the first half of this game.
Yeah, man, Gino, the glass is completely safe. You can keep your fine crystal wherever you need to keep it and properly held within the confines of safety. Austin Bechtold, Alex Terrett back up here in the broadcast booth. 321 total yards of offense for Westminster. But Alex, really the story at least for me, is David Reed has 2 carries, 1 yard, only 36 rushing yards for Geneva. It's been the passing attack with 200 yards through the air.
It's been the passing attack for both teams. And we talked about Billy Levac and the type of plays that he's made today, but it's also the way he's been distributing the ball around to everybody else. And Jalen Washington, Alex Shaughnessy, Tate Beachy, all having a lot of significant amounts of catches, but Tate Beachy only has 3 targets but has 2 touchdowns. He's been the difference maker in the red zone for this team. And also Geneva going to their passing attack, and Caleb Romano really stepping up and doing what he needs to do with his arm. Haven't been able to get the run game as much involved with David Reed, like you said, Austin, earlier. And so it's been different for Geneva. But once again, down 28-7. They're looking to see if they can make this second half a little different.
And Ryan Gomes, only 8 carries for 23 yards. Entered today with 319 total yards rushing. They do spread it around with a lot of different backs, but Gomes more so of the workhorse compared to everyone else. He has not really had an opportunity to get going. 3 yards per carry. Reed, that's a big story in this game. Bryce Finley averaging 5 yards per carry, 28 total yards in the game. And take a look at some of the first half highlights, including that touchdown run from Cannon. Tate Beachy found the end zone from Levac for a 21-yard score. And Romano to Tyson. Geneva needed points just to feel any bit of satisfaction going into the half. 28-7 is where we sit around the PAC. CMU has really started to take control against Allegheny in the third quarter, 42-3, while continuing to take control, as it's now 63-3 as CMU just continues to add on there. And we'll take a look at those scores in just a couple of moments as well when we come back to Geneva in a 21-point game.
It's more than a move. It's a new job for her, a new baseball team for him, and for Badger, it's a new yard with more room to roam. It's more than a move, and we're more than a truck.
If you need insurance, you need an agency that's sharp. The Sharp Insurance Agency is an independent agency and distinguish themselves by providing face-to-face customer service and reviewing coverage to provide the best possible value for their clients.
Hi, I'm Mike Sharp. Lean on my years of experience in the Pittsburgh area to find you the best insurance coverage, because when insurance companies compete, you win.
The Sharp Insurance Agency. Contact us today to have your personal or business insurance professionally reviewed.
At Laway, we understand the power of personalization. From hats to water bottles, our expert services include screen printing, embroidery, and a variety of promotional items. We also specialize in team sports gear. What truly sets Laway apart is our dedicated design team, including our talented on-staff graphic designers and exponential customer service. Choose Laway to make a lasting impression on and off the field.
Trout Plumbing is a registered and insured master plumber that services the South Hills. They offer a variety of services, including camera inspections and dye testing. Trout Plumbing also offers a veteran and senior citizen discount. When in doubt, call the Trout at 412-983-8106.
Westminster with a kickoff to the 40, 30, and down the sideline. Could go all the way, but just running out of steam. What a great return for Elijah Grayer. He has been terrific in this game, man, Gino. And you talked to Gino DeMarco coming out of half. He can't like what he saw there, but what about the first half?
Gino says that, you know what, there are a couple of plays. He gave up a couple of big ones on defense and just a couple of missed opportunities on offense. He says, we're not that bad. We are better than what we're playing right now, and he expects more out of the guys. But he is happy with the performance he's getting out of his quarterback so far, Caleb Romano.
But a special teams unit allowed Grayer, who stays in the game, standing to the right of Billy Levac, to get inside the 15. And now Levac with some open space. Levac to the 5, gets tackled down by Reed Gordon as he reached the 6. So Billy Levac picked up half of what he needed to move the chains and set up first down and goal. And Levac, tough player, really impressed by his performance today. If Ty McGowan wasn't such a great starter for Westminster, I mean, Billy Levac could start at multiple different places around the PAC. It's second down and about 3. Nothing there for Gomes. Isiago on the tackle.
And also, we talked about earlier in the broadcast with special teams being such a factor for Westminster, and they had an 89-yard kickoff return against CMU last week, but also this week they just do something very similar. And coming out of halftime, Geneva has a great offensive drive to end the first half, and then that's the way to put the confidence back in your side with that huge kickoff return. And then now they're inside the red zone. They're doing what they need to do to start this second half.
3rd down and 2 at the 4. Levac under center, hands it off. Not much space, but trying to bounce it to the outside. Clayton Cannon is down at the 1-yard line. There is a flag thrown, though, in the backfield, and it's coming back. Holding call against Westminster. We erased the first down. It's going to back the ball up to the 14.
They haven't had a lot of success in the short yardage for the run game. And I think most of it has been from Levac throwing the football and also his ability to tuck and run. So Gomes hasn't had the game that he's wanted today, but Levac has been stepping up in other ways.
Cannon remains the back standing to the left of Levac rather. With no McGowan, Levac has done great in this game and fires the end zone for an open man caught. Ethan Burford, touchdown Westminster. 14-yard score. Burford, his 2nd touchdown of the season. And Burford's score makes it 34-7. Westminster goes right down the field and capitalizes off the good kickoff return.
And Austin, I want to take a look at this and just see what Levac is really looking at here, because he reads this perfectly. And as a backup quarterback, like you don't make those types of reads as a backup. And right now he's just dicing up this Geneva defense.
Andrew Carana's extra point is blocked, but there's a flag thrown. Looks like Blaze Hargrove jumped just a little bit early.
Offside. Defense number 10, half the distance to the goal.
That'll be half the distance to the goal, and Westminster will redo the try. Levac had 2 touchdown passes in the first half, now with 3 in the game. He's approaching 200 yards passing in the game. And the extra point up and good. Burford just found some open room, Alex, and once again, Billy Levac able to find him.
And right here, you're going to have Burford in the slot, and he's going to run this corner route to the deep pylon. And then you're also going to see both receivers on the outside are going to run in routes, and the corner that's on this outside receiver is who Billy Levac's looking at. And he's going to fall down. And then instead, Burford just cleared up perfectly into the back of the end zone. If you play it, you're going to see exactly what Levac's looking at. You're going to see the corner on the ground, Burford open in the end zone for 6.
After the extra point, it's 35-7. So that touchdown that Geneva scored at the end of the half virtually erased in 2 minutes, as Westminster once again continues to capitalize. And we'll see how Geneva approaches its next drive. They send Patterson back to return the kick. Also send Cooper Edmiston. And the Elijah Grayer kickoff return set it up. Special teams has been big for Westminster. And a fair catch called for. We'll set up shop at the 25-yard line. The only really special teams gaff, and really the only gaff that you can say about Westminster in this game, was the muffed punt, but able to fall back on it, which didn't allow Geneva to get a scoring opportunity and plus side of the field, only at the 25.
But if you're looking at this Westminster team, you just don't see a rebuilding team.
No.
And you see they only have 2 losses on the season, and then with statement wins like this, they've beaten Case Western as well. Like, this team can play, and this team is young, and this team could be very dangerous in the next 2 years with the window that they have with all the young guys on their roster.
We'll give it to David Reed, breaks off 1 tackle. And Reed runs into Sleva after a gain of 3 yards. Westminster has won 11 games in a row in this matchup. Geneva's last win was in 2012, a 33-14 game.
David Reed, that's a grown man's run right there. He's tired of getting hit on every single play and not having the football. Instead, he just absolutely destroys the defender and just throws him off. That's the type of guy you got to get the ball to.
That's why it was so surprising that he only had 2 carries in the first half. As Romano will keep it this time. He's able to keep his footing. He ran into Mason Manis, the junior defensive end from Neshannock. 3rd and 3 upcoming.
They're going to have Romano in a little follow. It's going right behind David Reed as a lead blocker. They will get some sort of yardage there. But, I mean, down 35-7, you need something a little bit bigger than those type of gains.
Kind of seemed like that play was ran in slow motion. The way that Romano was running kind of with his back to the defense. 3rd and 3 from the 32. Reed remains the back. Romano fakes it that way, keeps it himself. Nowhere to go, dragged down in the backfield. Caleb Romano, no chance. Gary Joseph's 2nd sack of the game, and officially goes as a loss. And sets up 4th down, punting unit on.
I mean, Gary Joseph just slams Romano into the ground. And this, as a running quarterback like Caleb Romano is, and bigger guy, taller guy, I mean, those hits, they take a toll on you over the course of the game. And usually David Reed's the guy that's taking a lot of these hits. He's a little bit have a bigger frame, bigger body. He's able to absorb those hits a little bit more. But Caleb Romano is not really used to getting this hit this much.
Good rush on Baker, but he gets it away. It's a high kick. Butler calls for a fair catch at the 35. 35-7. Westminster out in front with 11:07 left to go in the 3rd quarter with the ball back on KDKA Plus.
When the biggest newsmakers have something big to say,
We're really testing the limits.
This is hurting working families.
This is a challenging moment.
They say it to one station. The biggest interviews. KDKA TV. Expect more.
This Saturday, tune in to KDKA Plus for PAC D3 college football as the Washington and Jefferson Presidents battle the Allegheny Gators in our regular season finale. This Saturday at 1 p.m. only on KDKA Plus.
For Brittany, it's more than a move. It's a new city. It's a new role. It's a brand new horizon that's hers for the taking. It's more than a move, and we're more than a truck.
In Pittsburgh, the news moves fast, but as the stories evolve, KDKA sticks with them, holding our leaders accountable and bringing change to the communities we call home. Stick with us every weeknight starting at 4.
Geneva cheerleaders fired up in Beaver Falls as Westminster's drive begins at the 35, and Levac takes it himself on a design run up past the 40. Once again, lowered his shoulder as a hit was being delivered. Reed Gordon collapsed in on a couple others there. We'll take a look. Dante Caputo is the one that delivered with his helmet, shoulder. Pick up a 5, 2nd and 5. Handoff up the middle. Grayer spins his way for a 1st down. Elijah Grayer has had a pretty good game today.
Like you said, coming into today, he only has 77 yards rushing, and he got that almost all on one play on his first play from scrimmage, and since then he's just been the guy that they've been leaning on. And Ryan Gomes, usually the starter, usually the workhorse back, not able to get going today, but, I mean, you like to see what you have in Grayer right now.
Yeah, why not ride the hot hand as Levac wants to take a shot towards Washington. He's got it. Washington, it's a foot race touchdown, Westminster. 54 yards, Levac to Washington for 6.
Like, my jaw is on the floor right now with Billy Levac. This guy's just doing everything that you could ask. And just that lefty spiral right, on that ball to Jalen Washington. And Washington's been that big play guy, and there's a big play from that guy.
Andrew Carana on to attempt the extra point. And with 10:08 left, it's 42-7 Westminster. If you could pick a player of the game with still a half of football left to go, Billy Levac is running away with it.
You're going to see Jalen Washington. He's going to be right on this defender. He's just going to run this post across the middle, and you're going to see him stack his defender and then immediately break inside. And once you play it, this Billy Levac ball is just perfect. He stacks the defender, gets across his face, and that's just all she wrote.
So 42-7 here around the PAC. CMU and Allegheny now final 63-10. And in the third quarter, Grove City is blanking Case Western Reserve. It's a good Case team. 23-0 at home. And ever since Grove City, the top 10 team in the country, lost to Washington and Jefferson, Wolverines have really not looked back. Bethany and St. Vincent in a close one, 14-13 at Chucknall Field. And Waynesburg looking to win against Teal. It's a 20-3 score. Yellow Jackets at 3-5 on the season, trying to get the same amount of wins as Geneva does on the year. And that'll be the matchup next week for Geneva at home against the Yellow Jackets. Kickoff away. Taken by Patterson for a fair catch.
And Austin, I think the biggest matchup is going to be next week when Westminster and Grove City face off. And when that matchup takes place, watching this game from Westminster, you think they have a really good shot of playing against a Grove City team that, like you said, hasn't looked back. But, I mean, they still got a major roadblock in front of them if they want to continue their success and sneak into the NCAA playoffs and win the PAC.
And when you look at the current standings and how they're constructed like right now, let's say everything stays the same. Washington and Jefferson, Carnegie Mellon, Grove City all end with one loss. Everyone's going to get into the NCAA playoffs. At least everyone's going to have a share of the PAC championship. And with the expanded playoffs, it gives a better chance for all three teams to make it, as Romano with open space. Romano past the 40, lowers the shoulder inside the 45. Caleb Romano, great run to start the drive for Geneva.
And you're going to see him almost backpedal at the start of this play, trying to feel out what he has in front of him, and he just takes off. And we've seen consistently when Romano gets through that initial line of scrimmage, he's had an extra burst of speed that's helped him to break off a little bit larger runs.
To the 48, Romano will carry it himself again, makes his way to midfield. Engineer DeMarco said he wants to see Caleb Romano run with his pads down. Do you think he's done a better job of that today?
I think he's done better from the last few games that we've covered from Geneva, but I mean, it's such a hard thing to do. And you want to use your long legs, you want to be able to take long strides, but I mean, once you're in the trenches, especially against this Westminster defense, it's very hard to run a little bit more upright and really expand that range, but instead, he's doing a little better. It's definitely going to take a lot more work, though.
Romano looks to throw, has a man. It's caught by Tyson. Tyson is close to a first down, needed the 42, and that's where he's spotted. It moves the chains.
Seth Tyson's had a massive game. Before that catch, he had 117 yards in the first half, and his long of 42, and he's had that touchdown grab. I mean, he's been pretty solid today. He's the guy that stepped up. It's usually Baker that's been the big play guy, but Seth Tyson's really stepped in that role a little bit more today.
Tyson only 244 yards on the season receiving coming into today. He's gonna have half of that today. You can add on. Cooper Edmiston, not much room. 2, maybe 3 yards to the 39.
And they're definitely missing Landon Smith in this offense. The guy that's able to go from that wing spot, motion around, and break off larger runs. That's what you need out of your pitch guy. You need a guy that's able to break off tackles and extend this offense, and you're definitely missing that aspect, even though Caleb Romano is playing one of his better games today.
Romano decides to take it himself, and he only gets 2 yards to the 37. Sets up third down and 5 yards. Geneva is 43% on third down on the season. Scored 30-plus points in the last 2 weeks. with wins against Allegheny and Bethany. The Allegheny game coming at home, Bethany on the road. 34-27, the final against Bethany last week. Romano drops back, rolls out near side, looking for someone to deliver to. 3 men in his face. Romano's pass is intercepted. Kevin Wright on the interception, his first of the season. And the senior graduate cornerback gives the ball back to the Westminster offense.
And Romano just pointing downfield, just telling someone to get open. That's a great way to high point the football for Kevin Wright. The senior just making a big play there. Romano is kind of, forced to be a little bit too aggressive there. Throws the ball into harm's way, and he's usually gone lucky so far in this first half by not turning over the ball, but forces up something there for Kevin Wright to bring down.
And he was looking for Cooper Edmiston, the back. That was streaking downfield, and see the quarterback rolling out, just everybody go and try to make a play downfield. Shotgun for Billy Levac with the ball at the near side hash. Levac hands it off with space. Good run. Once again, it's Elijah Grayer that highlighted Ryan Gomes, highlighted some of the other backs in the game, whether it be Reed, but it's been Elijah Grayer who's been the main star today. There is a player down for Geneva. We'll tell you who it is. Cody Patterson. He's being attended to as we'll step aside with 7:06 left in a 42-7 game.
It's Potomac Furniture's 75th anniversary sale. Celebrate our birthday with 40, 50, and 60% savings. Stop in today, Route 19 in McMurray, or visit PotomacFurniture.com. Furniture of distinction at a price you can afford.
At Laway, we understand the power of personalization. From hats to water bottles, our expert services include screen printing, embroidery, and a variety of promotional items. We also specialize in team sports gear. What truly sets Laway apart is our dedicated design team, including our talented on-staff graphic designers and exponential customer service. Choose Laway to make a lasting impression on and off the field.
When you step through that door or shake their hands, will you be prepared? When you stand up for a client or walk into that meeting, will you be ready to prove to them that you deserve to be there?
When you come to Washington and Jefferson, you will be.
Washington and Jefferson College. Are you ready?
Get ready, Pittsburgh. The WPIAL playoffs are here, and the best high school football action is on KDKA+. Tune in Fridays at 7 p.m. for the Steelers High School Football Showcase, presented by Giant Eagle, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, and Spread Group. JRM Video Productions, winners of a Regional Emmy Award for live sporting event.
What's better than a good tailgate before college football? Here at Geneva College. I wonder if there's going to be any left. Maybe we could stop by afterwards. Maybe there's a post-game tailgate. Westminster also represented at the lot, right outside Reeves Field. Austin Bechtold, Alex Terrett, and Robert Mangino alongside. In Beaver Falls, it's first down and 10 at the 24-yard line for Billy Levac, going under center. And Levac hands it off. Not much there, though, for Elijah Grayer. He only gets a yard. Runs into multiple different players. Reed Gordon was there, as well as Wyman Shaheen from Mabletown, Georgia, the freshman wearing number 15.
And there's a lot of freshmen on this offense and on this defense for Westminster, but you gotta love the production you're getting out of your young guys. Westminster just looks like a team that could really dethrone a lot of people next year. They're kind of out of the PAC standings right now, but they can definitely make a run.
They would need a lot to happen to be able to get into the NCAA playoffs as Shaughnessy makes the catch, picks up 7.
But in this conference, if you don't win it, you don't usually get into the NCAA playoffs. But also, you have a chance for a bowl game, and bowl games mean something in this conference because you get to play against similar opponents in different conferences and see how you stack up against the rest of the country and see if you can. Just gives you an extra game on the schedule to show something on tape.
Yeah, an extra game to be able to develop your players, just be around the guys. Third down and short for Westminster. Pass delivered and caught by Washington. Another great grab for Washington off the pass from Levac, and he makes his way towards midfield. Billy Levac just delivered a dart, Alex, right to Washington, past the defender. Looks like he's been doing it for years.
And also, you talked about at the beginning, both these players, both being juniors, and you think that Billy Levac, if he goes to a lot of other teams in this conference, he's a starter. And, Ty McGowan has been an amazing starter for them so far, but, Levac definitely can show something.
And go quick to the line. Levac trying to take a shot again towards Washington. Nobody can find the football there as there's a flag thrown right at the line of scrimmage. Jaden Duckett was in coverage with Washington. And, Levac pump faked as if he was trying to fake out the defender.
Man downfield, number 62. We have a $5 penalty. Beat it down.
But Dylan Llewellyn, the left guard from Franklin Regional, was downfield a little bit too far.
I'm just surprised that Coach Benzel is still having Levac throw the ball. He's running double moves on the outside. Just seeing how many yards can Levac get to by the end of this football game. 42-7. The game's kind of out of reach. It's not completely out of reach, but I'm just surprised that they're still throwing the football the way they are.
This time they run it, and there's space for Grayer. Grayer gets knocked down by Dante Caputo on a big hit. There's also a player down for Geneva. Slow to get up. That's Cameron Smith. I haven't said his name a lot today. 53 tackles on the season. Really good player for Newcastle.
Timeout. Injury timeout.
He's now on the ground in a lot of pain. We'll take a break as Smith is attended to. Under 5 to go in the third quarter. Westminster up 42-7.
Quiet on set? No way. This is Jake's time to shine. And Ryan's. And our crew. Cameras, check. Drones, check. Checking that shot we just checked? Double check. We ain't got time to chill. We're out here capturing this action. This is when we get to work. To bring you every moment live, no matter what. Broadcasting changes everything. Transform how you experience the game with JRM Video Production.
Pursue your calling at Grove City College.
It's more than a piano. It's music lessons, birthday parties, and countless family memories, now safely tucked away, awaiting Nana's new home. It's more than a piano, and we're more than a truck.
Get ready, Pittsburgh. The WPIAL playoffs are here, and the best high school football action is on KDKA+. Tune in Fridays at 7 p.m. for the Steelers High School Football Showcase, presented by Giant Eagle, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, and Spread Group.
Cam Smith was able to walk off the field under his own power for 2nd down and 7 and an I formation for Billy Levac and Westminster. Elijah Grayer remaining the back. I'll hand it off his way. Running between the tackles. And the pile moves forward to the 45. Ends up falling forward to the 44. Gonna be a couple yards shy of a first down.
Elijah Grayer just being, that player that's really stepped up. And this backfield has just been battle of the backups right here with Billy Levac just doing everything from the quarterback spot, and then Elijah Grayer doing everything from the running back spot. Stuff that we didn't think they were going to come in today doing as well as they are.
They pitch it to Grayer. Grayer breaks off one tackle. Grayer still going. He picks up the first down. What a run by Elijah Grayer. Could have been a tackle for loss of 2 or 3 yards, but Grayer able to use his speed and quickness, elusive to gain the yard to gain.
This is an impressive run by Grayer, who spin moves, stiff arms at the same time, throws the defender by him. When he gets met behind the line of scrimmage, the stiff arm spin combo is pretty deadly there from Grayer. And he picks up the first down. That's just an impressive run. And this is showing me as a coach that Greer has to be on the field more than he already is.
And that's another time that Reed Gordon in space is just not able to make the tackle. A little bit surprised by that as it's tossed to the near side. It's Demir White. White with a burst of speed to the 30. Going to be close to a first down. Needed that 30-yard line. And it is good enough on a gain of 10.
This is just such an impressive Westminster team that's, faced a little adversity coming in today without Ty McGowan. But they just really banded together and putting up 42 points, still with 3 minutes to play in the third quarter, is a very impressive feat so far.
They hand it off to White again. White gets the edge. White out of bounds. He's able to pick up another first down to the 19 and inside the red zone. A little surprised how quickly Westminster has gone on this drive. Not trying to bleed any of the clock at all. And Geneva decides to call timeout.
Timeout. Geneva, first charge.
2:52 left. Does that surprise you at all that Westminster is just still playing an up-tempo offense, snapping the ball with about 20 seconds, 15 seconds, in that range of 15 to 20 still on the clock?
Yeah, it's definitely surprising because, with this lead that you kind of think that they want to, shorten this game as much as they can. But also, these are great reps for Billy Levac. This is great reps for Elijah Greer. You're getting a lot of film from these guys that usually don't start for you. And you want to see them, how they respond in certain looks on certain defensive packages that they're going against. I think for Coach Benzel, this is like an audition for the tryout for a lot of these guys that usually don't get the spotlight. And I think, next year if you make a push, there's chances where these starters are going to be hurt, and you're going to have Ryan Gomes who's going to leave the program this year after the season. And so Greer's going to have to be your guy going forward. And Billy Levac might have another chance next week if Ty McGowan can't go, because we've seen these types of injuries kind of linger a little bit. So if I'm Coach Benzel, I'm using this as quality reps and quality film for my backups.
And he treats it as every week being its own season, trying to take care of what they can care of and control what you can control, thinking that 8-2 can get them into the postseason and a potential bowl game. But still got to secure a win here and then another next week to be able to do so, as White has nowhere to go. Demir White brought down in the backfield. It's a loss of 6. Multiple players convening in there for Geneva defensively. Wyman Shaheen, one of the first there.
Demir White's done a pretty solid job today of getting positive yardage. In that case, on this play, doesn't really have any real space to make a move. A lot of defenders flooding towards him from the Geneva defense, who's been gashed all day long on the run game.
2nd and 16, 3 receivers to the near side. Tight end lines up on the far side of the formation for Levac, who looks to throw. Levac now steps up, trying to escape. Levac will deliver downfield out of bounds. White was the closest man there. Smith Austin also the 5th-year wide receiver.
Another impressive stat that we've seen today is Levac hasn't gone sacked today because he just made players miss whenever they're trying to get him in the backfield. He does a great job of eluding the pressure, stepping up in the pocket when it's coming off the edge, and then rolling out when it's coming through the interior. I think he's done a great job of escaping those initial tacklers to save those sacks.
3rd and 15. Clock stopped at 2:05 in the third. Ball to the far side hash. 3 receivers near side. 2 to the far side. Geneva shows pressure and brings it off the edge. Levac looking towards the end zone. Pass is caught. What a way for Ethan Burford to find the football, come back to it, and makes the catch.
Burford does a great job. This is a very similar route that he ran when he caught the touchdown. He's going to run a little corner route. Levac just throws the ball exactly where Burford can make a play, and Burford does the rest.
So Greaves comes in as the back. Levac, he keeps it and scores! Billy Levac on the option from 5 yards away adds to his career day.
Can't help but smile watching Levac just pull that ball and just have no one in front of him. And what he's done through the air, but also it's an underrated stat for him has been the rush yards. And he pulls that ball, and he immediately tucks it like he's a running back. And he just takes it in himself.
Billy Levac is playing Madden with Geneva right now. 273 yards through the air. 4 touchdowns. Also now a rushing touchdown for Levac. He's rushed for 50 yards in the game. That's a 49-7 game.
And so if you take a look here, right, Levac is reading the defender for Geneva, okay, which is the end. So if you play it, I want you to stop it as soon as he comes off the line of scrimmage, right there. So replay. You're going to go back, and it's going to be number 8 for Geneva that he's going to read. And then once he sees the defender commit, he's going to bounce on the outside and take a score.
.273 yards through the air, 211 yards on the ground. We know it's a very balanced Westminster attack on the season, in the game, but it's just very impressive how they're getting it done. An offense that averages 35 per game has posted almost 50.
49 points. Still a lot of time left in this game. And for Geneva, this is going to be a very long end to this second half. And Westminster's just doing everything they want to offensively.
Patterson will return this one from the 10. And Patterson is collapsed in at the 22, maybe the 23-yard line. 1:30 left. So Billy Levac coming into today. You know, when you look at the overall stats and the numbers behind it, how much do you want to look into? I mean, he's barely played because of Ty McGowan being the main guy, and Levac has seen action in 4 games, today being his 5th. He was 10 of 13, so we know that the completion percentage is good, up at 77%, 136 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, it is just remarkable what he's been able to do in this game, and everybody has to be caught off guard as there's a pitch to the near side and dragged down close to the 30 with a flag down on the field. It was Cooper Edmonston. But multiple flags are on the field. And
on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
It's an illegal formation, 5-yard penalty backing up Geneva.
Well, Austin, you kind of have to think about it. If you're the sideline of Westminster, you're some of these players, and you're watching how Billy Levac plays, kind of raises some eyebrows a little bit. Because I know it's a very small sample size, only really one complete game of action for Levac, but I mean, these passes have been on the money. And so, you know, you have Ty McGowan. Kind of have to think about, you know, if some things go awry, Billy Levac could be your guy going forward.
Caleb Romano keeps it himself and tackled down after a short gain up to the 20. And we know how good Westminster is defensively. Great tackle right there. He'll be dragged down, and I mean, when you look at this Westminster defense on the edges, they're really good in the interior, they're good on the outside. They've been pretty solid in the back end with Bryce Butler leading a young unit. Either safety and Lamont Austin not able to go today at corner, a freshman that leads the team with 3 interceptions. Romano rolls out, passes, caught Tyson on the reception and is dragged down inbounds. As we send it down to Mangino in the final seconds of the quarter.
Thank you very much, Austin. You know, Caleb Romano coming off the field over the past 2 drives, he just looks absolutely exhausted. He's giving all he has. And I think it's really impressive and worthy of note that this 6'3", 195-pound quarterback is calling his own number still, not handing it off to the fullback on the dive and deciding to keep it himself. He's willing to work. He's showing his coaches that he's a gamer. He's willing to play. And earlier, one of his coaches came over to him and gave him a little bit of a pep talk, trying to lift him up a little bit to make sure he stayed in this game. It's impressive to watch him perform, especially in this second half.
15 minutes to work in the game. Westminster up by 42.
This awesome gift is from my grandma. I use free pay policy from GBA Life. What does it do? It accumulates cash value, helps protect my future insurability, and it may even earn dividends. What's so great about that? My policy will grow with me. Plus, I get access to the GBU Life Youth Leaders Program, scholarships, and more. Oh. You might be interested in a GBU Life annuity. You're probably thinking about retiring soon, right, Mrs. Jones?
From heating and cooling to a large array of construction equipment, Herc Rentals has the gear you need to get the job done. Herc Rentals is already a staple in several communities across the United States and Canada and have been serving our customers' needs since 1965. With a catalog of equipment that spans the spectrum of almost every kind of solution you can think of. To learn more about Herc Rentals, visit hercrentals.com or call us at 1-888-777-2700.
Get ready, Pittsburgh. The WPIAL playoffs are here, and the best high school football action is on KDKA+. Tune in Fridays at 7 p.m. for the Steelers High School Football Showcase, presented by Giant Eagle, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, and Spread Group.
Now is the time. Today is the day for us to strike out and move forward in confidence and faith.
This Saturday, tune in to KDKA Plus for PAC D3 college football as the Washington and Jefferson Presidents battle the Allegheny Gators in our regular season finale. This Saturday at 1 p.m. only on KDKA Plus. All Titans in Beaver Falls as Romano is under center on 3rd down and 9 and rolls out to the near side looking to throw, gets a block. Romano steps up, now has to run. Romano is pitched forward to the 27. He is shy of a first down, needing to get to the 32. And the punting team coming on for Geneva, pretty deep in its own end.
Okay, so Geneva's just, they tried to be different today. They tried to come out and sling the ball around, and it did work. And I think it was something that they needed to do, something that they needed to switch up. But, you can't really compete with the Westminster offense today. And when you're not able to compete and match the scores that they've been putting up, then now you have to continuously throw the football, and it's just been a hard task to overcome today for Geneva.
Baker's punt is away. And the Titans will just let it bounce and go out of bounds inside the 40. Here in Beaver Falls, there's the Matheny Fieldhouse, and you see the football with the name of number 19 off to the left. Joe Namath, the pride of Beaver Falls, represented Super Bowl MVP, New York Jets, only Super Bowl that the Jets have won, a Western Pennsylvania legend. Think of all the great quarterbacks that have come out of Western PA, whether it be just even Western PA or this entire side of the state, Central PA. Think of Dan Marino, think of Johnny Unitas, but the name that you always think of, at least almost right away, even for me as a younger guy, is Joe Namath. Handoff goes for a couple yards as Westminster has made some changes offensively. Billy Levak's day appears to be done. As Levak comes out, Sean O'Shea was also banged up in the last game for Westminster. It does not appear like he's going to be able to roll out there as well. So it's now Jake Miller's game. Miller, number 16, a sophomore quarterback from McKeesport. And Miller will keep it himself and runs up to the far side of the field, close to a first down. Doesn't pick it up, though. About a yard, half yard shy before he's brought down by Smith.
Miller's hasn't had a lot of varsity experience, and I think this is a great opportunity to see him just in case, something else happens in the quarterback room. Getting him quality reps is definitely important for depth on this team.
Miller hands it off under center. It's going to be close to a first down. As you can see right there on our yellow marker, it is going to be enough up to the 49-yard line. Looked like it was only to the 48, but just enough to be able to squeeze by Clayton Cannon. The sophomore picked it up. I think this is that point in the game, Alex, where you're just seeing Westminster just try to roll the clock as much as possible, control the football, try to drain as much clock as possible. This time they'll send Miller into the shotgun. Miller lets it go all the way down to 7. Or he hands it off. Cannon with a burst of speed. Still going. Clayton Cannon past the 40-yard line. Using shifty moves. Still going. Cannon. What a run. Clayton Cannon. Sports Center top 10 highlight for the touchdown. What a run by Clayton Cannon. Unreal. And he even can't believe it.
I talked about, Greer, Ryan Gomes, and how tough they run. But, there's no tougher run than this by Clayton Cannon. I just want to see how many defenders he's able to shake off. And you think he's dead right there, but then he just cracks off an even larger run. And he just leans on the fence post, just surprised that he even did that.
That is one of the best runs that you will see. 5 broken tackles on that play. As the extra point is up and good, Westminster exceeds 50 points. It's now 56-7. And Alex, let's just try to count how many broken tackles there were.
Right. And so whenever we look at this play and you play it, it's just he meets the nobody, 2, and then he meets that defender right there. And then he almost like stops right there, breaks off another one, and then just keeps on trucking along. And then no one can even touch him inside the last 30 yards of that run.
He ran into his own man on that play too and still was able to bounce off of it. It seems pretty exhausted. Why not relax up against the fence and just take a little breather? He deserved it. Clayton Cannon has had a big impact on this game. Ground, special teams. And it just adds on to, Westminster over the last couple of years has tried to rebuild. It does not feel like a rebuilding team. Scott Benzel even said to us, it does not feel like that is what this team is. Partly because they're playing so many young players, yes, but their depth is on full display today.
And if you have a deep team, you have a successful team. And it just shows how quality reps they get in practice when they show up in a game and they're able to perform like this whenever they get their chance.
Fair catch called for. We'll take it to the 25. So the high school football playoffs continue to roll on. Some championship games will begin next week at Norwin. For the WPIL playoff semifinals next week in multiple different classifications, including 1A, 2A, 5A. 7 o'clock, you can catch the Steelers High School Football Showcase Game of the Week on KDKA+. And a lot of new players into the game as well for Geneva, as it's Edmiston who ends up getting the toss to the far side for about 7 yards. So now into the game at quarterback for Geneva, as the Golden Tornadoes also decide to take Caleb Romano out of the game. It's Frankie Whitemore, the sophomore, 6'2", 210-pound quarterback from Branchville, New Jersey. So we've seen Darren Myers line up at quarterback for Geneva this season early on when Caleb Romano was dealing with an injury. And Frankie Whitemore now commanding the offense on 2nd down and 3, tosses it and right into the near side for solid gain, moves the chains, ends up picking up 4. The first down for Liam Gibson. Under 11 minutes left in the game. So, Alex, how will you assess how Caleb Romano played in this game? I mean, obviously, for Geneva, one of the main points of emphasis is to not turn the football over, try to possess this as much as possible. turned it over once. It was Romano's second interception of the season. As Whitemore decides to toss it. Dangerous play and a big hit delivered at the line of scrimmage. Terry Miller on the tackle. Goes for a loss of 1.
And also, you talked about, is this a successful day for Romano? And I think I saw a lot of good things from him through the air. And he had that drive right before the half ended, had a lot of completions, and the interception they had today was kind of just a forced throw, something that, due to the situation that he was in, he kind of had to throw. And so I don't really carry a whole lot of weight with that turnover, but I think he ran the offense pretty well, and against a really good Westminster defense, it was a very tough day from the beginning.
Whitemore up the middle for a couple of yards. And, I mean, obviously you can't call it a big successful day because of what the score is. But is it a day that he can build off of for the final game of the year against Waynesburg, a team that is also in the middle of the PAC standings trying to climb up?
And I think he's going to have a really good day against Waynesburg next week because, I mean, once you have a different type of style of defense going against you, sometimes the triple option works. And I think Romano's the guy that they're going to go to the next couple of years. And I think they found a starting quarterback that they can rely on in the next few seasons.
3rd and 9, handoff up the middle, nothing there. It was tackled down by Matthew Petruzzi, the 6'2", sophomore from Central Catholic High School. Send out the punting unit.
And at this point in the game, you're seeing a lot of things that were shown in the first half. And Westminster defense stepping up, stopping the run for Geneva, and Geneva never really had a chance of getting going in the run game. And even with a lot of these starters out, you're still seeing the same type of production on the Westminster side.
Baker will punt it away, pressure applied. And Westminster will let it bounce. A lot of guys around the football. Kind of dangerous that Westminster is able to avoid potentially a touching there on a play that could have given the ball back to Geneva. But next week, it's the final regular season game of the season. Where does the time go? In all sincerity, W&J and Allegheny will be up in Meadville at 1 o'clock on KDKA Plus for the final regular season broadcast before we turn our attention to the NCAA playoffs. Maybe? Question mark? A bowl game in the PAC? We'll see what transpires and deliver the information to you when we have it next week on maybe we see Washington and Jefferson, maybe Grove City, Carnegie Mellon as well. All in good position right now. And off to Collins. Up the middle for a 3-yard gain. 8 minutes left in this game.
But also, you talked about where's the time go?
Yeah.
This football season's winding down. You're already in the WPIAL semifinals for high school, and then with college, the regular season's ending. We're going to be next week in the middle of November. Football season's kind of winding down a little bit, but now the games start to get a little more intense, and hopefully we can bring you some good playoff games for the NCAA coming up.
And how about your Thomas Jefferson Jaguars advancing, beating Aliquippa in the WPIAL 4A semifinals. Pass caught, first down, and more. Out of bounds on the reception for Andres Martinez, the senior from Miami, Florida. You talk about there's a lot of guys on Westminster that are from Florida. I mean, Scott Benzel, as well as a lot of other teams in the PAC. I mean, there's no D3 football in Florida. So if you want to play in college, the same applies in Texas. You have to go to the north and play for a team in Pennsylvania, in Ohio, in West Virginia. Another handoff up the middle. And a good run for Collins, breaking off tackles. He gets 9 yards, maybe 10, close to a first down. It is enough to move the chains to the 42.
And also, when you talk about recruiting for Division III, there's a couple coaches on the staff. A lot of position coaches are assigned to specific areas to recruit from. And with the addition of Huddle and a lot of the social media, you can kind of connect with a lot of these players from around the country. And that brings a lot of good talent into PA from the Florida area, from the Texas area, and just bring more talent in the PAC. And you've seen the talent level increase over the last few years for this conference.
Yeah, and you build relationships. If a couple players from Florida go up to Westminster, or they go to New Wilmington, they go to Grove City, they go wherever it might be, they could tell some of their former teammates in high school, and other people find out, like, hey, this is a good place to go. They treated us well. We like the program. And it becomes kind of like a legacy for players in certain areas to go play, like, for instance, at Westminster. Let's send it down to Robert Mangino.
When you talk about recruiting, one of the things that Scott Benzel was saying earlier this week is that it is about the relationships, and not only about former players that decide to say, you know what, maybe you should go play at Westminster. But Scott Benzel has had a long, successful career in college football, and where he goes, he's been able to develop those relationships. And he has people saying to young kids coming out of high school, listen, you need to go play for Scott Benzel. And that's part of the recruitment abilities that he has here at Westminster, too.
Great hit by Noah Hutcherson right there. Great tackle as he's able to bring down Demarion Collins in the backfield. Ends up going for a loss of a couple. 5 minutes left in the game. 3rd down and 12 with 3 receivers lined up to the near side, 1 on the far side. It's all about relationship building, as it is in, so many walks of life. Shotgun for Miller, under pressure, delivers. It is ruled incomplete. Almost intercepted with 3 different players there, including Hargrove. Westminster on the punt. Back to the TJ and Allegheny game. TJ and W&J, I don't even know what I'm saying. TJ played against Aliquippa. There we go. 3rd time's a charm.
Yeah.
A lot on my mind working that game last night. Aliquippa had gone to the Whitfield Championship game 16 times in a row. 16 years in a row. Like that, it's unreal to think about. Thomas Jefferson, a buzzsaw of a team in 4A, is going to the title game and will play against McKeesport next week. Fair catch called for by Patterson at the 20-yard line. 4:35 left. In a 56-7 game. Well, I wasn't able to articulate that last sentence, but the ones that I was able to find and the touchdowns that you saw in this game, you can find them at JRM Sports on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, you'll find them there, as well as Instagram and YouTube. Follow us for real-time content and analysis and highlights galore at JRM Sports. Hey, sometimes you got to be able to make fun of yourself, right? Naming every team in the PAC, but can't name the high school teams correctly. Whitemore will take it himself for a yard. Geneva's last win in this matchup came in 2012, 33-14. This is a series that dates back all the way to 1891, one of the oldest in the conference. You like seeing these matchups that have been played for so long. It's the history of it. It's the tradition. Something that, honestly, is getting lost in college football with big-time college football in Division I with conference realignment. You're seeing less and less of it. Short run there for Gibson of a couple yards.
As you wind down this game, you talked about the tradition, and you're not going to see as old of matchups as you do in the PAC with anywhere else in college football. And college football's been around for a long time, but these two teams have been around for a long time too. And talk about Coach DeMarco in his 32nd season. People just they gravitate towards this type of football and the length and the tradition behind it.
Gino DeMarco's coached in 323 career games. Passes deflected and intercepted. Taken away by Westminster. Oh, definitely got to take another look at that one as it was deflected, and Nate Bortnick made the interception, the 6'4" senior defensive back, with a ton of cheers on the sideline in celebration, but it was the deflection that set it up.
Right, and when you go back to this, right, you're going to see number 39. His responsibility in this particular route is to take away the flat.
That's Mason Paljic.
And then he tips that up in the air. And then you just see the celebration on the Westminster side. he just gets his hand out there and just bounces right off his hand and just right in the hands of his teammate, who's able to corral another one and force another turnover.
Snap to Miller. Ball's on the ground. Who has it? Looks like Westminster was able to fall on it, but it's being ruled Geneva football. So after the interception, Westminster gives it right back to Geneva. Back-to-back plays with turnovers.
They didn't even get to finish their celebration on the sideline before they turn around and come right back on the field.
They're playing hot potato with the football.
Ball's on the ground. You know, you have a lot of guys in there that don't really have a chance to play on Saturdays. Just a little bit of a sloppy play there, but you see a lot of back and forth happening with Westminster and Geneva.
Yeah, Alex Gonzalez was able to recover it. 97. 3:06 left in the game. Quarterback option. Frankie Whitemore calls his own number and is able to pick up 2.
It's been a little bit of a sloppy last 4 minutes of this game. But I mean, with the score difference, you know, Westminster's kind of controlled this game a lot. They haven't put the ball in harm's way a lot today. But in these last couple minutes, there's been a lot of change in possession for both these teams.
Scott Benzel, 3rd all-time in wins at Westminster. 75 in his career. Reached that 75th win against Case Western in a 17-14 game earlier this year before the loss to Carnegie Mellon. Whitemore for a couple. There's a flag down on the field. Clock stops with 2:12 left. .130 all-time seasons for Westminster.
Defense number 92, 5-yard penalty.
Player jumped offside. Sure, you've seen a lot of those since the 1800s. If you added up the number of penalties, do you think there's a database for that? Like the number of penalties and like types of penalties dating back to, I'm sure they didn't do that in like 1890. They kept track of every single penalty and
what would they keep track of it
maybe
on?
They did, I don't know.
What database do they have back in the 1800s?
Well, I mean, it was probably all on paper in the paper file records. The SIDs in this conference are incredible.
You're right.
They would not surprise me if there was. Final 2 minutes of the half coming out, 56-7. Westminster leads.
It's time to rediscover the original Voodoo Brewing Company pub in beautiful downtown Meadville. Enjoy world-renowned craft beer, delicious and unique cocktails made with our new lineup of VBC spirits and one-of-a-kind food items. Follow our Facebook and Instagram pages to stay updated on our series of live music. And if you're looking to take your celebration to the next level or host a private event, look no further than our production facility, only at Voodoo Brewing Company.
As someone who disrupts plans for a living, I can't say enough about the importance of life insurance. Sometimes you can see the end zone right ahead of you, you can have a clear shot, then bam, it's Cam. A policy from GBU Life can let you focus more on getting out from under what life throws at you and worry less about protecting the life you are working hard to build. You can get a policy with GBU Life that is affordable to you now and build on it for the future with their guaranteed purchase option rider. Get started protecting the life you are building today at gbu.org.
If you need insurance, you need an agency that's sharp. The Sharp Insurance Agency is an independent agency and distinguish themselves by providing face-to-face customer service and reviewing coverage to provide the best possible value for their clients.
Hi, I'm Mike Sharp. Lean on my years of experience in the Pittsburgh area to find you the best insurance coverage, because when insurance companies compete, you win.
The Sharp Insurance.
Final 2 minutes at Geneva. Whitemore under center on 2nd down and 2. Man in motion, the pitch back is the one that gets it. Trying to get to the 1st down marker, the 35, and the pile moves forward. The opportunity to do so for Liam Gibson, the sophomore from Beaver High School. Pretty cool. If you're from Beaver, being able to have a chance to play in your home area, play for Geneva. Final few minutes of the game. Alex, there's one note that I noticed on the Geneva side that I thought was kind of fascinating. There's 3 different Bakers, players with the last name Baker on the team for Geneva, including Evan Baker, Keaton Baker. None of them are related as the pitch goes for a long run down the sideline for Gibson. Good job from Whitemore to get him the football. Dangerous play on the pitch.
I can't believe this ball actually got there and that's a great catch as well on the pitch. But Whitemore kind of putting that ball a little bit in a dangerous spot there, but that's just great tuck and run for Gibson, who's able to kind of make something out of nothing there.
Final minute and change, 1:17 to go. Stick around as Robert Mangino will talk to our player of the game. Whitemore keeps it himself. Delivers a blow. He lost his helmet at the end of it. But Whitemore, the one who really delivered it. So he'll have to come out for one play. Caleb Romano has to come on. Whitemore, tough physical run. Plowed over a defender.
And now Caleb Romano has to trot out. And you kind of anticipate that they're probably going to either give it to the fullback or it's going to take a knee. At this point, there's no point in getting your starting quarterback injured at this point in the game.
He will hand it off. He gives it to Logan Hartshorn. Picks up a first down. 40 seconds left. Geneva will have to snap it one more time. One more play for Westminster. Rebounds from the loss last week against Carnegie Mellon. The 45-20 loss. Every game that Westminster played was either a blowout victory, a close one against Case Western by 3, or the loss by W&J. So if it wasn't a blowout victory, it was either a one-possession game. This one, another blowout win. 56-7. The Westminster Titans come to Beaver Falls and take a commanding 56-7 win against Geneva. And all I can say is Billy Levac led the way. What a performance from the backup quarterback. You never know, if this was your first time watching a Westminster game, that he was not the starting quarterback. If Billy Levac's the starter, if he's the backup, who's the starter? That's how good Ty McGowan is.
And Billy Levac, just like you said, Madden type of numbers today. And can't really forget what Ty McGowan's done for this program the last couple years, but I mean, Billy Levac definitely can show you something, and today he showed everything that he has.
Billy Levac, 17 of 23, 293 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. He also ran for 49 yards in a score as well. Over 300 yards all-purpose to make his head coach, Scott Benzel, very happy talking to Robert Mangino.
Thank you very much. Coach, what a performance today by your team, both sides of the ball, special teams, and especially your quarterback, Billy Levac.
Yeah, it was fun to see Billy compete. This is why we're out here. This is why we work as hard as we have, all year round. Get a chance to get Billy an opportunity, and every time we call his number, he's delivered for us, and you can tell our guys are excited to play for him.
You mentioned earlier before the game that only under an emergency situation would you bring Ty McGowan in. Mm-hmm. Did Billy Levac show you enough that maybe you want to keep Ty under glass a little bit longer?
Yeah, it's nice to have two, right? At this point, we'll decide what's best for us moving forward. But yeah, he definitely get a consideration, absolutely.
Talk about Geneva and this program that Coach Gino DeMarco has been able to develop, really close to a 500 season, maybe the first time in a very long time for this program.
A lot of respect, not just from me, but all the coaches associated in the PAC love Gino for his leadership. I remember as a young coach with Coach Wall when we got the scrimmage, Gino, many, many years ago, and class act, and I'm proud to be associated with him.
Congratulations on today's win.
I appreciate it. Go Titans.
Thank you very much, Coach. Austin.
56-7, huge win for the Titans. Some other scores around the PAC. Carnegie Mellon, 63-10 over Allegheny. All the games are now final. Grove City against Case Western. Case Western came back. made it a 10-point game at the finish. Bethany wins. The Bison defeats St. Vincent 21-13. Bethany's first win in a long time. You can count up the years. It's been over 2 for the Bisons, and the last time they won a game. So great for Bethany to be able to grab a victory there at Chucknall Field. And in Waynesburg, the Yellow Jackets stung the Tomcats 37-10. Sting 'em, Waynesburg. My alma mater's happy. And a happy Billy Levac is standing alongside Robert Mangino.
Thank you very much, Austin. 273 yards, 4 touchdowns through the air. You ran in for 1. Was this a statement game? And if it was, what were you trying to say?
Yeah, I mean, we got a great team. We got a great offense. And I'm just so grateful to be out here on a Saturday. I mean, God's blessed me with the ability to come out and play football with my favorite people, playing my favorite game. So I'm just grateful.
Talk about the quarterback room you have. I mean, Ty clearly the starter at this point, but there must be a lot of camaraderie there, all of you guys lifting each other up throughout the course of the season.
Absolutely. Yeah, those are my guys. And we're always supporting each other, whoever's in there, whoever's got the ball. I mean, my job all year is just make sure that the quarterback position is being played well. And if it's me, then it's me. If it's Ty, I'm going to do the best I can to support him or Sean or whoever else is in there. Those are my guys.
Did you think that you had the potential of this kind of game today against Geneva here in Beaver?
I did. I think that we had a really good game plan, and we had a really good week of practice. I thought, we could go for however many yards, however many touchdowns. I think we could have done more.
Congratulations on the big win and being player of the game.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Austin?
Thank you, Mangino. Big win, 56-7 for Westminster. And up next is Grove City, a huge game. That'll be at home for Westminster at 1 o'clock next Saturday before everything is sorted out and what could happen in the NCAA playoffs. And same thing with bowl games. Geneva will be at home against Waynesburg right back here at Reeves Field, 1 o'clock next Saturday. Thanks to everybody that made this broadcast possible, including Jake Mislinchik and Ryan Milan inside our JRM video production truck. And all the highlights that you've seen, courtesy of Madison Benedict, Corey Berger, and everyone inside our production truck with Emma Laurent down on the sideline with Robert Mangino. For Alex Terrett, I'm Austin Bechtold saying so long from Beaver Falls, where the Titans reign supreme with a 56-7 win. Enjoy your college football Saturday.